This conference will now be recorded.
You're the biggest one in here.
Oh, that's a big one.
It's a window. Get that thing out.
Those windows don't.
Huh?
Those windows don't.
There goes Steve. Going everywhere.
Don't want to move. You want to see. It's gonna be moving.
Crazy.
Just getting a taco. Just sign the Taco Bell card. Wanna worry about the fee.
All right, call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. To the flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, as we gather this day to do the important business of the people, grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen.
Amen. All right, so, got our meeting here. So we're gonna go a little bit out of order because we have, the Bassett Foundation and some kids here to do a presentation for us. Thank you.
Got a hornet on my head.
Oh, you got them?
All right.
Thanks.
I don't even know this gentleman. He just saved my life.
Did you kill that?
Oh, how cool is that?
Nah, I just put it in the hallway.
Did you tell me he can't come back in?
He'll be back.
In preparation presentation, I have to put the official Owego 250, America 250 uniform on.
Oh, well, we got you.
It's just to honor our youthful participants. Okay. With our official logo, in the back side. They don't always applaud it doesn't mean. Very unusual.
Special day.
Okay, so this is pretty wonderful. My name's Robert Clark Bassett, and I was not born and raised in Owego, but I've spent 33 years of my life helping young people in Owego through the Charles H. Bassett Youth Foundation. I've spent a career in youth development, so this is right in my wheelhouse. We are a patriotic family. My family first came to Owego in 1870. My great-grandfather, my grandfather, my father, our families all lived right here in Owego and made contributions in public service and community service. We support young people being engaged in the community. So in anticipation of the 250th birthday of our great country, let's give it up for America. We decided as a foundation, let's reach out to young people, specifically 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, and ask them to help us celebrate our country and our birthday, which of course comes in July 4th this summer. But in anticipation, we have created a logo, which was designed by a high school senior at Owego Free Academy, celebrating America's 250 years. Owego, let freedom ring. And as you entered, you saw our official Owego Liberty Bell. If you've never seen that before, that is a life-size replica created by high school students in Binghamton in 1976. 2 years the high school students worked under the shop teacher and created a bell that looks very much like our Liberty Bell, which of course is metal. We were given the opportunity to receive that bell. It's donated to the Charles H. Bassett Youth Foundation, working in partnership with the village of Owego, and the trustees and the board agreed to host the bell here in our village government headquarters where it belongs. So it's a pretty wonderful part of our history. So our contest this year was to reach out to third, fourth, and fifth graders in creative expression and ask any third, fourth, or fifth grader in Appalachian or Owego Elementary School if they would like to make a drawing, a painting, create a poem, write some prose, and submit that to us by May 15th. We gave them 2 months. We heard from Hannah, who's here tonight, within a week of and Hannah submitted 3 entries. Third grader. Shortly thereafter, Maggie steps up as a third grader and submits her painting. And up until Friday at 2 o'clock, there were 2 entries. And then at 3 o'clock, there are 38 more entries submitted by fifth grade teachers. And we have all of those entries, their poems, their prose, their paintings. There are these amazingly creative things here. And of course, we want to honor each of those young people. So without checking with Mike, the mayor, you always want to check with your public official first, unless you don't. So I told the fifth grade teachers that invite any of those students and their parents that want to be here tonight. And I'm happy to see that none of them are here because we don't have any chairs. But you can imagine 38 other young people here and how stressed the village board would be. And the fire people would say, what's going on here? We're not going to be able to speak. So that being said, we have 38 young people that participated in the contest. 42 total entries. And I want to give a shout out to the 2 fifth grade teachers, Miss Massey and Mrs. Harris at Owego Elementary School, who engaged their classes. I'm not sure how Maggie and Hannah learned about the activity, but I will be interested in hearing your story. So that being said, I will briefly explain the connection to Taco Bell. Raise your hand if you've ever eaten at Taco Bell. All right, we got about a 60%. Most young people, it's about 100% for teenagers. So I was researching the Liberty Bell, and I discovered online a very difficult chapter in our American history. Now, we all know that the Liberty Bell is one of the iconic symbols of our country. In Philadelphia, it was cast in 1752. It was created in 1752 and became one of the central figures in the history of our country for independence, for freedom, for justice, and for hundreds of years we've rallied around the Liberty Bell. It's not the only symbol, but it's certainly a significant one. We decided to have the Liberty Bell the central part of our Owego logo because we have our own Liberty Bell. So now we are honoring both the high school students' creation, and now we're going to honor some elementary students. So rather than read the list of students that participated, we're going to focus on the 2 young people that are here. In 1996, something very tragic occurred. You may want to sort of settle in. People opened the newspaper and they saw in the newspaper that the Liberty Bell had been sold to Taco Bell. And there was a full-page ad that the Taco Bell had bought the Liberty Bell and renamed it the Taco Liberty Bell and was sending it to their corporate headquarters in California. People were shocked. How could the Park Service sell the iconic Liberty Bell to even a good food restaurant? What's going on here? So the public was so incensed, they contacted the Park Service. They got phone calls, irate people, and someone said, look at the date of the newspaper. And there it was. It was April Fool's. Thousands of people didn't get it. So Taco Bell spent $300,000 in the marketing of that ad, and it brought in $25 million worth of PR. It's considered the 7th greatest hoax for April Fools ever. You can research it online. It's an unbelievable story. And so we have a new Taco Bell in Owego. So being the kind of person I am, I said, I see a connection between our Liberty Bell out there, the history of the Taco Bell, and our contest. So I contacted the regional marketing coordinator in Syracuse, and I said, we have hundreds of young people standing ready to rally around the Liberty Bell, and we've learned that you have this blemish on our history. So they sent us coupons and meal tickets to honor almost $500 worth of resources to honor the young people of Owego. So we've created a relationship. So next time you go in Taco Bell, we're all in this together. So with that in mind, I would like to introduce you to our first entrant. And this young lady's name is Hannah Koritz. Hannah, if you would come forward. Hannah submitted 3 entries simultaneously. And I thought, wow, if every student submits 3, we're going to have thousands of entries. So Hannah, if you would so kindly introduce yourself and sort of show these adults what you did, why you did it, and what it means to you.
Hello, my name is Hannah Kurtz. I submitted these 3 drawings. This first one is the White House. The second one is the Capitol building.
Very nice.
Took me a long time. And this is the Constitution.
Excellent.
All I want to say is I didn't draw these myself. I followed along with this step thing, but I added a few things, like the grass and like a couple more windows here and the American flag on top. And my favorite is the Constitution. And yeah.
Thank you.
It's your time to shine. I'm sure one of our elected officials would like to ask you a question. And
Well, Hannah, how long did it take you to do these drawings?
I would say the Capitol took me 20 minutes probably. So, and the rest, maybe 10 minutes. So, probably 40 minutes in all.
Excellent. Great math, too. Yeah.
and Hannah, why did you do this? Why did you participate? And did you enjoy participating?
Well, I really like drawing, painting. It inspires me. Every time I see like drawing on like the internet or like somewhere in our house, it inspires me. Like, for example, your shirt, the eagle on your shirt inspires me.
You know, Hannah, that's one of the most poignant, which crystallizes being inspired in our country, which is why the Liberty Bell is important and why the words are important: freedom, justice, and you've inspired us. So to honor you, we have 3 certificates, one for each of your artworks. Presented to Hannah Koritz in recognition of your participation in Owego celebration, United States 250 years since July 4th, 1776, in appreciation for your contribution to the success of the celebration. These certificates are for you. I'm going to hold on to these because we're going to make copies of these. We'll return the original. We have a couple prizes. We have 3 prizes. So you were pretty shrewd entering 3 times. So you will receive 2 taco coupons. I don't know if you like tacos, and I'm not sure if your parents will approve of the taco. However, and this is a little gift certificate to Carol's Cafe for a little sweet, if you like. So it'll balance your diet. And if you would kindly take your seat, and then we'll introduce next.
Hey, Bob, that was a long time in kid minutes.
Have you read?
That was a long time in kid minutes that she spent.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knowing that the average adult can focus for about 2 minutes, 10 minutes is a lifetime. So our second entrant, also early in March, is Hannah Schulteis. Did I pronounce that? Maggie, I'm sorry. I should be reading my certificate. So, by the way, Mr. Bassett, who I am, will make a few errors in this ceremony. So I will be corrected pretty quickly. Maggie would like to call you forward, and I will get your piece of art here, and you can explain exactly what this is, what you did, and if you would share with the village board explain that to the village board. And here they are. They're all friendly.
Yeah, we don't bite, none of us.
No.
I promise.
You got it, Maggie. It's okay.
Yep.
Where did you make it, Maggie?
At Soleil's Art Studio. I made this at Soleil's Art Studio.
We know that.
And I went there and made this painting. I love your kids. And when I was done with it, it reminded me of my mom and my brother because their birthday is on Flag Day.
What do you like about the painting?
It reminds me of the flag.
Thank you.
You like to paint, don't you?
Mhm.
And what are some of the objects? We think we understand the theme is the American flag. The white dots represent
The stars.
stars. And then the lower section, the darker section.
These are the mountains, and these are birds.
Nice. Any particular bird? Possibly the bald eagle?
If you wanted to.
All right. It's a trick question.
Any kind of bird.
Any bird. Well, we'll take seagulls. We'll take pigeons.
Pigeons.
What's that?
Pigeons.
Pigeons. Okay.
Maggie, we really appreciate, how long did that take you to create?
I can't remember.
An hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
Class, yeah.
Pretty wonderful. Well, we're excited that you submitted that. That is world class. And to honor you, Maggie, here is your certificate. You can read with me in recognition for your participation in Owego celebration of the United States 250 years since July 4th, 1776, in appreciation for your contribution to the success of the celebration. That should be with your personal history that you keep. I actually am gonna let you take that because I made a copy, scanned that, so you can take that home. And here is a gift certificate to Carol's Cafe. I want you to introduce yourself to Carol, who owns it, and she's also an artist. So when you go in there to get your treat, you say, I'm Maggie Schulteis, and I'm a winner of Owego America 250. Would you do that for us? Cool. Anybody have any questions for?
You did a great job. Yes.
And did you two know each other? And were you in cahoots on this? Was this a double team? You do it, double there type thing? You did it independently? Okay. So I just want to point out to the village board, these people are very smart, but they not know this. when a third grader steps forward into a community, that's community engagement. In third grade, you have a remarkable future ahead of both of you. If you're willing to step forward, talk to these sometimes friendly adults that you don't know. They're actually a lot friendlier than they're coming to talk to. Anyway, this is where your government meets, and she's welcome to come back, right?
Anytime. And
So,
definitely when
that-
you're a high school senior.
What's that?
And definitely when she's a high school senior.
So, yeah, if you would come up and join Maggie and bring her certificates, we'll get a photo op. Very important to.
Thank you.
If you ladies would stand here with your, not to offend them, but with your back to them, we'll take the photo this direction. And then if you would come over here, okay? And you're gonna face that direction.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And then, beautiful. And all we need is two. Oh, you can do it, and if you can have three entries, you can do that. Now, you have to admit, this is pretty cool, right? Let's give this a thumbs up on the cool. And I want you to know too, that there's someone from the newspaper here that's gonna probably wanna talk to you both. Come over here. Thank you.
Hey, Mike.
How's it going?
How are you?
Newspaper had, I have to take the news photos. Go away from it. Okay.
Okay.
Sun in your eyes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take, let's make sure the mayor is in the picture. He's not the most photo. No, yeah, no, that's good, Mike. Come up here. Yeah.
Break your camera.
Hold aside.
Yeah, no, that's great. Love it. Perfect. Thank you so much. Ladies, you did a wonderful job. Last two things. We have a plaque for Trevor Morano that created the logo. We'll present to him. And then we have a plaque that a lot of people don't know that our Liberty Bell is here, so we created a plaque that will sit with the Liberty Bell. And it says the following: celebrating America's 250th birthday and Owego children and youth who love her. Liberty, justice, beauty, and independence, July 4th, 2026. This wooden sculpture replica of the Liberty Bell created by Binghamton High School students in 1976 for the USA Bicentennial Celebration forever reminds us that youth community service matters. Charles H. Bassett Youth Foundation, E Pluribus Unum, out of many, one. Thanks for your patience.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You guys can stick around or you don't have to. Oh.
No. Go get them some ice cream. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we're gonna go backwards to public comment. So, let's start with that. What we got for public comment?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Okay, thanks. My head is stuffed up from allergies. Lori Young, 22 Fulton Street in Owego. I had a couple questions. The first one is, I know the chicken law will be coming up again this evening as old business. I was curious if we had put the corrections in the first submission of a proposed law, because I went online on the website to look at two things, and one was chicken law that's under review and I couldn't find it. And then also the overlay discussion that's happening in the proposed law with what to do with that land. I just think it'd be really helpful if we're discussing old business and changes have been made to a proposed law, that law is put up on the website so people can read it. So when they come to the meeting, they have information and maybe their concerns will go away after reading it, or they will at least know what to ask. Okay, I have heard something about changes, and I don't want to believe this, but changes happening concerning people's yards on what we can grow, where we can put trees, things like this. And that's sort of, someone told me it was part of the overlay thing. Now, I went back and listened to the meetings and didn't hear that, but is that true, first off?
No. And
It's
then,
not.
yeah,
I'm
our office did let me know that those fell off the website, so they re-put them back up there.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. My head's stuffed up.
Oh, so our office did let me know today that those like fell off the website because it's been so long, so they
Yeah.
re-upped them this afternoon.
Okay.
So we didn't realize that they weren't up there.
Okay. Are any laws under consideration that will directly affect how a property's layout is in regards to plantings or things like that?
No.
No. Okay, thank you. And do we know when we're coming into actually having a chicken law? Is that going to be soon because people have young chicks now?
Yeah, we don't know. Maybe tonight we might set a public hearing, but we don't know.
Okay, those were the only two questions I had. I just wanted to clarify because I'm putting in a high density garden. And last year I was able to grow over 300 pounds of vegetables. And they weren't heavy vegetables, the pumpkins and acorn squash. They were other things, but 300 pounds of produce for different food pantries and share tables around the county, and as well as put up food for myself. So I'm really proud of that, and I'm going to continue on. So, all right, I just wanted to verify that.
Okay,
Thank you for your time.
thanks. Public comment. Who else do we have? Go ahead, just state your name and where we are.
I'm Carol Randall. I live on Woodlawn Avenue. And when I was here about a year ago or more, we asked about the playground and I was told there was going to be a grant. And did you get a grant? Is there a timetable? And what are you going to do?
That is true. We did not get that grant and we reapplied for it again this year. So hopefully we'll know soon. It's like a whole county playground grant that we're in with a bunch of different municipalities.
So nothing will be happening?
Probably not this summer. Hopefully for next summer. We'll keep you posted if we get it. Hopefully we get it.
Will you be doing anything to the Woodlawn Avenue playground?
I'll have to ask DPW. I don't know. They're not here today, so we'll get an answer for you though.
Well, they had the flooding issue with overheat and stuff last year.
Oh, yeah, it was. Anything else? All right,
I'll throw one in. I was a little bit confused with the agricultural overlay. I'm Doug Weeks, 560 Fifth Avenue, in case you didn't know, I'm the flag guy. The way I read the agricultural overlay proposal, I wasn't sure how it might affect our community garden project. What we're trying to do is take some of the properties that were flood damage, I guess you'd have to say, and turn them into community gardens, raising money, raising crops for the local food pantries. In reading that, it referenced New York State's agricultural thing, which said, for-profit commercial gardens or commercial agricultural properties, 5 acres or more. Is that the format you're looking at? Or are you looking at each individual property? In other words, the sites that are vacant right now, are they, because they're not 5 acres, are they gonna be set aside so we can't move forward with this project?
So the only thing so that overlay will not apply to anything unless we apply it to it as far as specific parcels.
Okay.
So it's mostly being created for the fair property, and that's the only place it'll be applied.
Okay. And that
So it
wasn't
won't
clear,
apply
in
anywhere
that
else.
wasn't clear in the way it was written.
And the other issue with something like community gardens, right? So this would apply anyway. You'd have to talk to code enforcement about whether what you're proposing to do in whichever zoning districts there, I don't know which ones, is an allowed use. And if it's not an allowed use, it's a community garden, which it might not be because the village code was written in 1968, Rusty.
Yeah.
And community gardens weren't really a thing back then. And it's possible with some persuasion that the village board might consider adding community gardens to the list of allowed uses. I haven't interpreted the code, and that's up to Mick and Terry, but talk to them.
Okay.
So that way you can understand where you're doing, what you're doing.
Basically, what we're looking at is an extension. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, don't.
Vines.
I appreciate you telling me, and I'm very familiar with vines, but talk to Mick and Terry, because they're the guys you gotta talk to first.
And we've got to make sure you can put those on those FEMA properties, which you probably can, but
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
we have to make those FEMA properties that were demolished by FEMA because of the flood have a lot of very odd restrictions on them.
Well, one of them is, one of them was, is a private,
Right. And things about structures and like, is a raised bed in a structure? We got to figure that question out.
It is not, according to FEMA, it is not a
Okay.
structure.
Hopefully it's not, because it'd be a great use for it. Anything else?
No, I want to make sure that's, because we're moving forward and.
Yeah, that right now potentially only would be applied to this piece of fair property out here that the fair board owns. We don't know. Any other public?
I just have one more thing to add about the community garden. Ed Arrington's Memorial Community Garden was put on East Main and Fulton, right up the street. It's like 2 doors up from me. That still stands as a community garden in the village of Owego for Ed Arrington. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay, because that would be a wonderful place to have a community garden. There's water nearby. My house is 2 doors down, so we wouldn't have to do the huge barrels or anything. But that's one example. Like, that's already designated land.
I think that's one of the spots they were thinking about.
Yeah, that's been designated. It wasn't undesignated. So, all right, that's all I wanted to add. Thanks, guys.
Any other public comment?
Mike, if I might? Yeah. Just want to remind folks, when we start discussing these things, you don't get to be in part of that discussion. So if you have something to say about anything we're going to do, you have to say it now.
Or at the end.
Or at the end of the meeting. But when we're discussing it, you don't get to ask us questions and do stuff in the middle of us doing that. That's the way it works. So you have the floor.
Oh, Tamara, go ahead.
Tamara Gates, 565th Avenue. Thinking about the chicken law, no one's made it clear why we have to go past the 1969 law that is current, which says confine your chickens or pay a fine. Because most of us are already living within that. Most of us, I think, are trying to be good owners and good neighbors. So why do we have to reinvent the wheel?
I mean, those are good comments. I'm not sure if that answers.
Well, I can may, Doug Weeks, 560 Fifth Avenue. When we were talking about the chicken law some months ago, one of the things I suggested is that we actually enforce the current law, and then we track how many complaints there were regarding chickens. I've asked, I have not received a response yet, but I was asking how many animal complaints has the village gotten in the last year, and then how many chicken, of those, how many were chicken complaints? And I'd still be interested to know, because if we're solving a problem that doesn't exist, then there's no point in solving the problem, because it doesn't exist.
Right. No, I agree. I know personally, I've had 3 or 4 complaints to me about roosters, so, like in the last month and a half.
Well, there's a format for reporting complaints. You get that number every month. It's in there, but all it says is it's 39, or it's 33, or it's whatever. Those could be complaints about the guy down the street, or, you know,
Yeah, I don't know how many.
helicopters flying overhead, or whatever. But what I'm asking is this a problem? And is there a way to solve it by simply enforcing the law we've got?
Those are good comments for the board. Any other public comment? All right. So we will do Little League next for this second. So go for it.
So, I sent an email Friday morning, to everybody on the board except for you. Rest of your email address wasn't listed.
Is carrier pigeon?
She
said smoke.
Yeah, no. So basically, I am documenting once again the request for an emergency gate. I included a letter of support from Chief Hawkins, my safety officer, Mike Keychek, as well as a volunteer. I've spoken to many community members, many volunteers. They're all in support of this. If I need more letters, more people to show up here, I'm happy to do so. I don't know what else you guys need from me. This seems very simple, easy thing to do. So again, I'm here to ask that we are able to put in an emergency gate.
And you've got everything donated, so there's no cost.
Correct.
As before, my only hang up is who gets to decide what's an emergency and what's not.
Right, who gets to unlock it, right?
I mean, because you need police and fire, police there anyway directing traffic. I just don't see why the keys to the gate should be put in the hands of the Little League board when it's actually a village safety issue at that point.
Well, correct, but it's also our safety issue too,
It
right?
is.
If I have a park full of people, I need a way to get them out.
Absolutely.
So I do need a
I
key.
assume you would be contacting the public safety of the village of Owego at some point, who would follow patrol or whatever it is that they do, or at least to have a safety plan in place for them. And that's my only concern.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it were a true emergency, we would have Owego Fire Police there directing
Which is
traffic.
my point.
Right, and
So,
we've talked about that.
right, that is my only concern, is
Yeah.
that, is the right person with the right qualifications making that decision?
Right.
Because
But I mean, if
ultimately,
at any point George Street is closed,
I
that's to
understand
me, I
your
should open
argument.
the gate.
my concern is the liability will always fall on the village, because at the end of the day, that is our park. So we will take the hit for whatever happens over there.
Correct.
So
But just
that's-
remember too, 50 yards up the street is
I
another
understand
parking
that.
lot that we operate out of every single day.
I'm not saying
And
it's a
there's
bad thing.
nobody directing traffic out of there.
You're still missing my point.
I guess I don't understand your point then.
I digress.
I mean, we have a parking lot that's 50 yards above.
Yes.
People come and go out of that every single day.
Absolutely.
So why is it different 50 yards down, all of a sudden we can't have people
Because you
out?
labeled it as an emergency exit. Now that
Correct.
means there's somebody making an emergency decision, and I think that should be the village of Owego officials making that decision, not the board.
Okay, so who do I call if that happens?
I would imagine fire, police, one of the people that takes care of that type of stuff?
That's not a problem with me.
I mean, that's the concern I had last time, and it was never addressed by anybody. That's the only hang up I have. I think it's a great idea.
I mean, because 2 years ago, we had a fire. George Street was completely blocked off. Luckily, it was a rain day, so we didn't have people in the park. But had we would have, I mean, we would have had people trapped in the park with no way to get out. I mean, we had fire trucks down George Street. There was no way to get out.
Both sides of the street, we had it completely blocked. There's no way anybody would have gotten out of there at all, unless you tore up the school's yard. Now you have a liability with the school. I'm more than happy if you don't put the gate in, next time there's an emergency, I'll have the poles out myself.
So just telephone poles are solid.
You know, once again, you're putting out allegations that we don't want the gate. That is not what we said at all. I believe we want the gate. We want the village to be safe, but we want to know who's going to be in charge of opening the gate.
Well, I think that that's between myself, the fire department. I mean, police chief, yeah.
I would agree with the fire department, police, because they are village associated. I very much appreciate what you do, but at the end of the day, that is the village's park, and we have to take responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what it takes, I'm perfectly fine with that. I have no issues.
I would have zero issues if that's the way we went. I mean, I don't know about the rest of the board, but that was my only concern.
Yep. I'm totally fine with that.
Mike? Yes. So I've spoken to a number of citizens, to a number of police officials. I have not spoken to the fire chief about it, but there are still things to be looked at when we open that to Talcott Street. And some people are gonna make a fuss about traffic study before we do that. Just telling you.
Just saw it now.
Just telling you about how that goes. Anyway.
I'm 1,000% in favor of it. I was the one who actually suggested it after the George Street fire. It used to be open for
It's
years
just-
and years and
We're
years.
bringing an issue forward, she's bringing an issue forward, and we drag our feet, and guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna chainsaw it down, and everyone's gonna get mad. But the warning was out there that this was an issue, and nobody wanted to do anything about it.
2 years in the making.
I mean, I understand not
But I do
everybody's
like-
gonna be happy. But I have to do what's best for a majority of people, and right now, that is my program. Hannah, that sweet, cute little girl, she's one of my girls. Mike's children, my girls. Mike's daughter, my girl. Like, I'm having a really difficult time understanding how I have stood in front of you guys 3 times now, and this is so difficult. I'm literally only asking for this gate to be opened when George Street is closed and I have handicapped people in a lot that can't get out. That is all I am asking. I am not changing things on a daily basis. This is only for 4 months out of the year. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. I was wondering, what are your issues? You say there are issues.
Yes, there are.
What are the issues?
So I'm gonna say one thing. In fact, it's one of the things that, as I'm talking to people in the neighborhood, I'm talking to citizens around the village, I try to talk to lots of people about these things. And one of the things that, interestingly enough, that, and we don't want to do any of this, I'm not talking about having the gate, we don't want to do these emergency things, but something that Mike said, if there's an emergency there, our firemen will go over there and cut 2 of those little pieces of wood right down that fast. I'm talking about an emergency. We'll cut that stuff right open, and there won't be an emergency. Our guys will take care of that. Not that we want to do that, not that that means we shouldn't do a gate, but that, if that was the thing, oh my goodness, emergency, what will we do? We'll open that puppy right up immediately. That's just one piece of that. There are, I don't have all the particulars of this. There are some other ideas of what to do there. The parking lot that we have along the creek, that's the back of the league, with other properties, there are other thoughts and concerns. That's one of the reasons why we are not going as fast on this as some folks want us to go. Doesn't mean we're not gonna do it, doesn't mean we don't wanna do it. Just telling you there are reasons why we're slowing it down. You can't tell us anything more, you've told us everything you can. We appreciate that. These aren't questions for you. There are other thoughts and ideas there. We can still do this, I mean, we can do it any minute we want.
I think it makes more sense to have an emergency exit where they would like to put it with the keys with the fire and with the police, so that you've got, two comms and have it prepared, as opposed to thinking about hacking something down in an emergency, because that often leads to disaster. And if the chainsaws work, well, that would be a miracle too at that point. But I mean, I think that the bottom line is we really need to think about, let's be prepared. But I agree, because you're the president of the board now, but in 5 years, it might be someone else who might say, I don't care if that gate's open, and it causes all sorts of mayhem. Where these guys still have to come to meetings with us and deal. So
No, I understand that. And I
So-
mean, if we have to like come up with some type of an agreement where we never, I mean, none of us want it open. We understand
Right.
why those
Right.
went in the first place. Trust me, none of us
And-
want it just open.
And it's very likely we don't have a fire or an issue like this, and that would be a great thing too.
Right. But at the same
I would
time,
prefer to be prepared and have it in a more organized fashion than doing something on the fly.
We can put a Knox box on.
Oh, yeah, one of the box things. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Only police and fire have access.
Right, okay. So, yeah, you know what I mean. It's basically a virtual key now. How's that? So I'd like to make a motion that we allow them to have their emergency gate with the key access, be it virtual or whatever.
Knox box.
Thank you, Knox box, through the fire and police. And this is only for emergencies.
The Knox box give to people that need emergencies, the keys, like.
Correct.
by default.
So Terry, just to
I don't like
clarify,
that.
we're not letting them have their gate.
Yeah, I didn't like
It's-
that language at all.
Yeah, you're making a motion to accept their donation
Accept their
of
donation.
materials and
Installation of
labor
a gate.
to install a gate along the Talcott Street access to the park. All work to be overseen and approved by Fred, with a keys to the gate to be in fire, EMS, and police hands until such time as a knock box is installed.
That is exactly what I would
That's why we
like.
bring it.
And it's a type 2 action for the state environmental quality. That was great.
So do we need to fill out anything else?
So that's what we say that.
Okay.
I'll second that.
So we have any discussion on that?
Send that over tomorrow.
Okay, I'll upload the video. I'll be good about this time. Yeah, let's vote on that.
I just saying the same thing I said before. There are reasons not to do it this minute. It doesn't mean that that's what's gonna be the case, but.
I'll see what happens. Fran.
And the other piece is Fred. I wanna know what Fred says.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't want to do this without Fred telling me that this is good, bad, or good, bad for this, just some of me.
We've had 3-4 weeks to talk to Fred about this.
I've talked to
I think
Fred
we trust
first,
the Fred
yeah.
on that.
I've talked to a lot of people, maybe Fred too.
Yeah,
I'm trying not
Fred seems fine with it.
Okay, well, that's what I want to hear.
Frank,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Rusty,
No,
Laura,
yes.
Ron,
Yes.
and
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's gonna make me feel a lot better.
Thank you for your patience.
Terry. Let's do the fire department thing, since we got a bunch of people.
I'll start with the report. April, we're gonna have 26 calls. 3 of those were mutual aid. We had well-attended trainings, a couple of them with 20 or more people. Community development, we held a pancake breakfast fundraiser for one of our terminally ill members, Jimmy Wagner. $1,700 for him. We participated in Recruit New York, which is a statewide initiative. We also had a lot of PR under that. We have 2 new members in the process of joining through that. The Little League parade was rained out, unfortunately, but a couple of the guys took some of our trucks over to set up in front of the middle school with the lights going to welcome the kids as they came in to do an indoor parade. And we thank you again for use of this facility for department physicals for our members on 4/25 of this year. And then Mike has a presentation. Go ahead and help him. Hold on, I gotta share. No, he just. So we are at a critical juncture with the fire department right now currently. You can go to the next slide. We're here, we protect our firefighters, we're protecting our community. This is going to be a critical safety issue. It's compliance deadlines are coming, and we're a growing department. Right now, our department is facing a significant safety and compliance issue. 69% of our turnout here has exceeded the 10-year service life established by the NFPA standard 1851. The standard requires that all structural firefighting gear be retired after 10 years, regardless of condition, due to material degradation and reduced protection. Additionally, we currently are relying on 6 sets of borrowed gear from the Windham Township Fire Company, and that gear is also beyond its service life. At present, we only have 10 sets of gear that meet the modern compliance standard today. Go ahead. This is the big one. State mandates are approaching. New York State is moving towards safer PFAS or PFAS free. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Substances in firefighting equipment. On January 1st, 2028, all turnout gear in New York State must be PFAS free under New York State requirements. This means we only have 4 sets of gear that meet this requirement today. PFAS is a forever chemical and is a carcinogen and is causing cancer in firefighters. NFPA has banned it as of 2030. New York State bumped it up to 2028 because it is killing so many firefighters. This issue is already affecting our operations. Our firefighter training programs in New York State require compliant gear to participate. Due to shortages, our members are forced to swap gear or just to attend a class. When members take the gear to classes, that gear is unavailable for emergency response. We effectively reduce our interior firefighting capability, and this creates a real risk. At any given time, we may not have enough properly equipped firefighters to safely operate inside a structure fire. Right now, we have 3 members in York Valley right now attending interior firefighting operations class. Mr. Van Hall, if we were to have a call, cannot go interior now because his pants are on one of my members. Stephen Porter Jr. cannot go interior because his coat is now on a member up in York Valley. So we're essentially taking 5 sets of gear out of rotation when we only have 12 green tags, which is not a lot to begin with. So we have a growing department. We're facing shrinking resources. Since January 1st of last year, we've welcomed 21 new members. 10 of those members have joined us just this year. This growth is a success story for Owego, but it also means more firefighters need properly fitted, compliant gear. We cannot safely or responsibly equip them with what we currently have. This matters because turnout gear is not optional. It's a firefighter's last line of defense against extreme heat, toxic smoke, structural collapse environments. Our outdated gear loses its protective integrity. It increases the risk of injury and long-term health effects. It exposes the village to liability. Go ahead. New York State PESH was previously contacted regarding an anonymous complaint on an unrelated issue, which was determined to be unfounded for us. However, it highlights that concerns can be raised. Given the condition of our turnout gear, this is an issue that could reasonably be brought forward in the very near future, at which point we would have to do what we're going to propose in a minute. Our funding efforts to date have included pursuing grants and equipment giveaways over the last 2 years. I've submitted multiple applications through the state and national programs. Limited success because there is high competition for the funding and there are constraints. The bottom line is grant funding is not reliable or a timely solution for our need. Our request, we're asking the village board to support bonding for the replacement of our turnout gear so that we can bring the department into NFPA compliance, meet upcoming New York State PFAS regulations, ensure all our firefighters, especially our newest members, are properly protected, and we maintain full operational readiness at all times. Go ahead. I had 3 people submit bids, not bids, but 3 quotes. Fire ducts came in at $92,120. Ricochet came in at $88,846. Morning Guard came in at $112,420. Ricochet proposal also includes an option by bundling and saving for an additional $22,180 more. They will include 20 additional exterior-only gear sets. So our recommended approach is selecting the Ricochet package, which gives us 20 full interior gear sets, which is more than enough for our interior guys, with an additional 20 exterior-only gear sets for the additional $22,000, which also is more than enough for our current members. The total investment is about $110,964.
Eric, could you go back to the number page for a second? Thank you. On my back. Thanks. I just want to, if you need to talk to anybody, I want to read a couple of these things down.
So as you can see, some of the smiling faces in the audience are some of our members tonight. They're here in support of us board chiefs presenting this tonight.
I got a question.
Sure.
Is 20 enough if our growth rate is what it is?
It's coming up.
Okay.
So it'd be 40 total sets, 20 interior, 20 exterior, which would solve our problem right now. And then future budgeting, I have on another slide. We'll continue to. Just interior versus exterior. Our structural gear is designed for interior structure fires. It protects against extreme heat, steam, direct flame. It has a 3-layer system of an outer shell, a moisture barrel, and a thermal liner. It's heavier and insulated. It provides maximum thermal protection for interior attack, search and rescue, and ventilation. Our exterior gear is designed for exterior operations outside of a structure fire. It's also good for brush and wildland fires. It focuses on heat reduction and mobility so that people can move around better. It usually only contains a single layer of Nomex construction. However, the Ricochet exterior gear includes a fully sealed bloodborne pathogens layer that other equipment does not. So that'll keep, if you're cutting somebody out of a car, they're bleeding, it'll keep the bloodborne pathogens out. This morning, if Charlie had on his gear when the guy came out of the house, he would not have had an exposure because that bloodborne pathogens would have stopped it. It's more lightweight and breathable. It provides better endurance and flexibility for our firefighters. It's used for our exterior operations, for extrications, perimeter control. It is not approved for interior structural firefighting. So financial summary, total project cost is $110,964. It includes total of 40 total gear sets of 20 interior and 20 exterior. The cost per firefighter is significantly reduced through this bulk purchase. With this one-time purchase and budgeting for 5 replacement sets annually moving forward, this department can maintain compliance and avoid another large-scale gear deficiency in the future. This is not just replacing gear, this is solving our problem completely. The return on investment, you'll have safer firefighters, we'll be in regulatory compliance, there'll be reduced liability and improved response out of our members. Go ahead. The bottom line is our gear inventory has expired or expiring. Our new regulations are approaching. Our safety is at risk and we must act now. Next. The Owego Fire Department continues to grow, respond, and serve this community with great pride, but we cannot do that safely without the proper equipment. This is not just an investment in gear, it's an investment in the safety of our firefighters and the community we protect. One-time purchase and budgeting for the 5 replacement sets of gear moving forward, the village and fire department can establish a sustainable replacement cycle that keeps our firefighters properly protected, maintain compliance with the NFPA and New York State requirements, prevent the prevent the department from facing another large-scale gear deficiency in the future. I thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Can I ask you something?
My name is Charles. Everybody knows Charles. I want to say something. We as firefighters, we know this information because we every year take OSHA. So we know the dangers, we know the ramifications of not having proper gear. With that said, this is not just asking for money, just to be asking for money. This is a requirement of us being firefighters and doing our job correctly. My suggestion is that maybe a special OSHA class should be given to the fire board members so that they can see this information firsthand, so they can see what we're up against. And maybe it wouldn't be so tedious in asking for money for what we really need.
Carlos, you know you're not on the board anymore, right?
I'm here. We
God bless you,
people.
brother.
What questions do we have for Eric?
I just want to make sure it's PFAS free, correct?
It is
Okay,
all
because you didn't say that in the
Sorry,
video,
nope,
and I
that
was
is
like,
all PFAS
waiting
free.
for it. Okay,
All
thank you.
manufacturers have already switched over to
Okay.
PFAS free. They switched over at the beginning of last year,
Okay.
knowing that these mandates were coming. So
Perfect.
everything produced to now is PFAS free. That's why the 4 sets we got last year are compliant, but everything else is not.
Okay, well,
So how do we get rid of the old stuff that has all these liver chemicals in it? What do we do with that?
There's recycling places that'll just take it off our hands. We
I'm
can't
sure
do
they'll do
that.
something responsible with it.
After it's out of our hands and I rip a Owego off the back, there you go.
So and this will protect us in this regard for 10 years, and you have a plan for getting.
Yep, as long as we budget.
I'm gonna pivot in a different direction. About 4 or 5 years ago, we did this with stop packs. Do
This
you have
is
a
the
plan for
exact-
that as well?
Yes, the Scott packs, we have a line in the budget now that we're.
Okay, I just didn't want to get bit down the road.
Yep, this is gonna be the same, this is the very same situation, just instead of Scott packs, it's now gear.
I love the idea of increments.
Yep. It has to be, it's the only way we're gonna be able to sustain.
With your scout models, those will have to start being incremented out, which will be about 5 years.
Right.
So you got a couple of years to plan, but we're gonna need to plan future of incrementing
That
those
was
out.
one of our fears, is we bought so much up front that they're all gonna go out of date at the same time.
Right. That's why I wanted to do the bulk purchase now and then five, and it'll just keep being cyclical.
yes.
Cyclical? And always be covered. That's a big word for me.
That's a good question, Nate. Board, we had a question. Is it 5 pairs every year after the initial purchase, or? like
Yes, so
5
no
years
five
after?
this year, it would start next year. Next year. Thank you.
But that's a different thing that we would have to decide on. This is for the stuff right now, for the 20, so I do have this, right? And I know you don't kind of know this, but I want to anticipate, do we have any anticipation of more rule changes coming up, and all of a sudden these are
For
no good
gear?
in 4 years, or?
For gear, no, unless they find something wrong with this new gear. But
I know we don't know, but it's always
Yeah.
a concern.
Because all the
When they're
OSHA
coming.
bylaw, all the OSHA changes that they've
Oh,
tried
yeah.
implementing, they got brushed aside, so those aren't coming out.
We buy stock in these companies, Rusty.
That's why there's only 4 now.
I may have
They're all,
Last you can remember, it was all flannel on the inside for years, and then they went to these chemicals because they were great. Well, now they're finding that when exposed to heat, those chemicals off gas cancer-causing agents, and we're just soaking it right into our bodies, and now we're moving to the next one. Until they figure that out.
It's the modern equivalent of asbestos. Is that what we're trying to?
yeah, it's a forever chemical, yeah.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky on the Scott stuff, because when we were considering that in the spring, we were hoping for a grant, and we did. That doesn't mean we can't, we might not be able to get a grant that we can use if we already buy, but we got the grant, so we were lucky to pay.
AFG opens tomorrow, and this is what I'm putting in.
Gonna be
But
fine.
I need the gear now. We need we can't wait.
We got a fireman back
I'm
there.
gonna, my name is Brad Potter. I'm gonna piggyback on what Mike said. With it soaking into us, then we're going home to our families, and it's soaking into our kids. So we do need gear. I mean, my gear doesn't even fit me. I'm 7 foot tall.
Shrink a little.
I'm running the chainsaw. I'm gonna cut my foot off.
I do have a set of either here if anybody wants to see that.
So Chief, you got 3 quotes, but of course, all the dollars are over the competitive bidding threshold.
Okay.
And so either we'd have to competitively bid for the products that you're looking for, which isn't a big deal, but you just have to go through the bidding process.
Okay.
Or you identify which of the cooperative purchasing networks your preferred vendor is utilizing, if they're utilizing it.
Is that like Sourcewell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly that. So see if you can find
I'll go through
source
Sourcewell.
like that.
Yep.
And then if they are, just confirm the pricing that they've given you matches that. And then the maximum that we could borrow for this is 5 years. And then we'd have to determine, sometimes these types of places offer lease financing, which then we'd have to compare to like your local bank and just determine where the best interest rate actually comes from for these types of things. The board could choose to go through a competitive sale of the bond for it using municipal solutions. I have seen them get like a full percentage point and a half lower than private placement of banks. So over 5 years at $110,000,
right,
you could actually potentially see some savings.
I'm all for savings.
Yeah, so there's definitely, like, you're not gonna be able to just be like, go ahead tonight.
Right.
There's definitely some steps, but if the board's interested, then we can move down that path.
Eric, how long are the quotes good for? Do we have a, I know we have to do a full building, but.
30 days.
30 days, okay.
I made sure they refreshed them this morning for me, so 30 days from today.
And I know we need this stuff yesterday, but as usual, we're not trying to put things off forever and ever for folks. But yeah, we need to do some of the research pieces on that, about borrowing, about our budget. Can we find some money so we don't have to borrow? Can we find some money? And that's right now, the budget, which is, you quite well know. So we have to get on this. But as Nate said, that's not something that we can take an action about with this.
Can't have the comptroller being angry at us.
No.
They're always angry. What other questions we got for the fire department? Since they brought the whole fire department.
No, this is only part of us.
Active guy.
This is a lot of the guys that you see responding every day now.
I've got to throw something in because one of my constituents asked me to ask you about this. And I didn't just have a chance to talk to you about it. And it's already self-explanatory. They said, could we possibly get a number of our firemen that have gear that they haven't used and get that gear back? But of course, even if we get it back, it's not going to be good for only a year. If it was any good at all, it's only going to be good for a year or two. No, but they asked, and so I said I would.
You know how many people that contacted to try to get gear back?
Yeah. These my
pagers.
And nobody gives it back.
No.
Of course, we probably don't want it anyways.
Some of it.
I definitely don't, yeah. I'm just gonna stop the comments. But Rusty, I applaud your comment that your board needs to move on this.
Yeah.
I applaud that comment. Thank you very much, sir.
We appreciate you guys supporting us.
And I'll talk to you about some operational stuff. I don't want to bore everybody with some questions about that here now. Some little ideas of some things.
So if I contact Sourcewell tomorrow, I can send the information to both.
Yeah, probably both.
Okay.
You gotta be very direct, Eric. They don't take so well.
I'll send it to everybody. I'm good with that. I don't mind. Yeah, we hit a point where the Band-Aids no longer are solving the problem. So Wyndham, like I said, was very gracious enough to lend us gear to get us through, but it's just.
And even if we do a bond type situation, it takes like a while, right?
Because this is just 5 years, it'll only be 30 days. So it's not, I mean, it'll be quick, but I made mention of the mayor, I mean, the first bond payment wouldn't be due until 12 months from whenever you close on the financing. So
okay.
Right, this is next year's budget.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this isn't even the budget we're gonna do now.
Okay.
This is the next one.
There's boots out there.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys. Anything else?
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Next, we have.
Oh, yeah.
wasn't part of my release.
Yeah. Can't believe you still want to hang out with us longer.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Don't get used to those chairs, don't get used to those comfy chairs, guys.
I did it.
Brian, can't you just walk out on your knees? Make you feel like you're showing the person.
No, thanks, Seth.
I
know where we're going. Thanks, Mike.
Give it a try.
All right, so our next we have Sam from Park online. He was on vacation last meeting. He joined us to talk about the alternates for the police station project that we put on hold. Right, we approved the main project, but we want to talk about the alternates.
You don't have all that with me.
I don't have a hard copy, but you can send out an email about.
That's the one thing, but it doesn't tell us.
Sam, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you guys fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
All right. So first and foremost, I want to apologize for the confusion on the alternates. Looking at the bid tab, I see that they were labeled incorrectly, so it would have been hard for you to know what was going on here. So this time around on the bid cycle, we had 5 separate alternates. The first alternate has been the same since each time we've bid the project. It's the light pole replacement. So there's 2 light poles outside of the police department on the sidewalk area. That would be alternate 1 for replacement in kind. So the documents call out for them to be matched exactly as they are. And reason for the scope is that currently we've been told they do not operate. So any specific questions on that one? All right.
Flags.
There's the lights.
All right. Alternate number 2.
I don't have any. Do we have the number for that?
Yeah, the number is $7,000.
Thank you.
It was
In kind, does that mean the new ones won't work either?
No, the new ones will definitely work.
In kind.
In kind just means that they will be look very similar to how they are now.
Right. Direct replacement.
Yep.
Probably fulfills a shit like that.
Yeah.
Although within direct replacement, because we've got LEDs on and everything, are those old style there and not that, just in kind exactly? Yeah, I don't know that.
I assume they're probably updated, right?
Yeah, it would be an LED fixture. It's just the appearance of it would match that historical property of it.
Yeah, it's nice to just raise the ribs again.
Yeah, right. All right, so that's the first alternate.
Okay, so alternate number 2 is the basement access shed. So this is the structure on the side of the police station that has the stairway down into the basement. The number we got on this one was $25,300. This is a full tear down and rebuild situation. So currently it's kind of built out of 2x4, and there's been a lot of damage to the metal roof from ice above.
Piece of crap.
So what we'd be going back with has a more solid CMU wall at the base, more robust wood framing, and a new roof as well. There'd also be some interior and exterior lighting associated to it. So, a light above the door outside and a light within the stairwell.
Does that also have some potential at any repair for the stairwell itself if it's not okay, or is it just in piece around?
Yeah, so there's no actual repairs to the stairs themselves. Okay. Certainly something that we could add into the project if needed, though.
Can I interrupt one more time, Mike? Just a second. So one of the things that we potentially think about when we're spending the money on this is this a 3-to-1 match? Point being, Fred and his guys can build this thing. If we're spending $100,000 of the grant money on this, we can build this and we wouldn't do it. This is going to be $25,000. We're spending $6,000 on this of our one quarter 3-to-1 match. So That 25, and other guys had that for a whole lot more money, so that's a fine add-on.
You can't build it for that one.
No, so that, no, I say, but if things were different, we could do some of this ourselves, but not in this one. Thanks, Sam.
Yep.
That's the second alternate. I think everybody understands that now.
Okay.
All right. So alternate number 3, this is masonry restoration. The bid number given was 65,000, and this is the majority of the masonry restoration called out for the building. Now, there are a few specific areas on the back elevation and the basement shed side that have critical failures where stone and brick is missing, joints are completely falling out and failing. Those specific areas are included in the base bid of the project. So when we're talking alternate number 3, masonry restoration, we're really talking the front entry area, the stoop, some minor odds and ends around the other sides of the buildings, what we kind of deemed as non-critical failures.
It's 65 grand.
Yeah, I think that was our question, is what that included, so no, I think we know.
Yep. So there is, the big things that need to get done for masonry restoration were left into the base bid because I knew we had to do that no matter what. So the rest of this alternate really is kind of the front elevation and the opposite side, west elevation of me.
I don't know what the plan is for this. I can't remember from way back when we had plans on this. A little piece, don't tell Chippo, whatever we're doing out there on that front steps and things and stuff, I sure would like that to be designed, preparing for some future time to put a roof over it. I don't know how to play that exactly, but.
Yeah, this would just be to
This is,
repair the bricks that are there.
yeah, I don't know how much is gonna be done or whatever.
Yeah, so Shippo did deny us on the canopy. So that's not something that I can help with, but.
No, I'm just talking about the, whatever we're doing below there, it wouldn't be a terrible idea if, as we did it, we were thinking down the line.
Sure, yep.
Because we can't do it on this project.
Right.
Just put that in.
Okay, so that's the third alternate.
Yep. Okay. So alternate number 4 is the gutter and downspout replacement. So that's new gutters all the way around with new downspout locations. We did relocate them to try and help with some of the issues that they are, sticking out in areas of the building that are getting hit. So we've, showing those being relocated and sized accordingly.
How much was that, Sam?
So that alternate was $11,000.
Did those gutters go into an existing catch for like going in?
Yeah, they do
Utilize
tie into storm at grade. There's a connection between the downspout and the storm. Now, I don't believe all of them do though. There's a couple I think that just splash on the ground.
I think that's the side that had all the water damage, wasn't it? I'm wondering if that was a correlation there.
Yes. Now, in the documents, we didn't have work associated to tying it into storm.
I would be very curious about the integrity of that storm drain.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want it to do it. We have a storm drain out behind it in the middle. So as you go off the back porch, the way that it slopes just a tiny bit into a storm drain there, but that's not the best thing in the world to have it come down, hit the parking lot and go into that
We're
drain.
assuming it's still whole wherever it goes.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I just would hate to do all this work and have it back up into the basement again anyway, because that pipe is just.
Well,
that's a future problem apparently.
Probably. All right, I don't have the thing in front of me. Is there more alternates? I don't think.
Okay, yeah, there's one last last alternate would be the cornice and door repairs. So in the documents, we had some wood brackets at the roof eave that are starting to separate from the actual soffit. And so this alternate covers repairing those brackets, repairing any damaged soffit areas, repainting the whole thing. And then there is scope for repainting the front door surrounds. So the 2 front doors at the building, they have wood surrounds that are white currently. So that was included in this kind of like painting scope. So that would be alternate number 5. And then that amount was $24,500.
Rod, you and I can take that.
I don't know off the top of my head, Sam, do you know what the contingency budget is for this?
So I roughly budgeted 10% contingency on the project. And where we're standing overall, if we were to award all of the alternates with Haroon, we had a total amount of $396,800, which is approximately $100,000 less than what we were budgeting for construction. And that's not including the roughly $50,000 of contingency. So to kind of spell that all out in one clear statement, if we were to award all alternates, then we have approximately $140,000 left in this budget.
So we could award everything and we're still under budget.
Yes.
We have to match. Right. The 396 is,
that's what we have.
So we'll round that up to 400. That's what we're at. And once again, we pay, we do we're a fourth of that, so we're 133 of that, and the state's. Right.
Yeah, we're 25%.
Fourth of 4, no, we're 100, and they're 300. Yeah, okay. Wasn't getting it. Well, is there more stuff that we want to add?
I don't think we can add more stuff.
Probably not.
We rebid.
We got it all in there.
Well, the good thing is if we award a contract, there's certainly things that we can add in via change orders.
That's true.
That's a normal occurrence. Usually it's for things you don't want to do, but you have to do. We're in a great opportunity to do things that we want to do.
So, Sam, you know that we awarded the base contract, right?
Correct. I know.
I was just making sure. I didn't directly call you, so I was making sure.
Yep. So we've been holding off on preparing the contract until we had a determination on these alternates. So if we make our decision tonight, then we're going to write up the contract and get that distributed. We actually had a meeting with the contractor earlier today, and they're chomping at the bit to get going here.
So once again, the general numbers are 396 for the whole deal. So we're already at 264 for the standard deal. These are about 132 to get to our 396. That's all we're doing on this.
That's all we're doing.
And it's great that we have a contingency because it's always more.
It's a very old building.
Yeah.
Very big contingency on this, which is good.
2,000 disappears quick.
I'll motion that we move forward with accepting alternatives 1 through 5, awarding alternatives 1 through 5.
We put the numbers in, or
That's
whatever it was before. Okay. Second.
Any other discussion on awarding all of the alternates? So we'll get done everything we wanted to get done. Fran?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Russ?
Yes.
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 And yes. All right, Sam, so
Yeah,
get them,
Thanks, Sam.
get them put together.
All right. Glad to hear it. We'll keep pressing on then.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Next, let's do the discussion on the chicken law, get that out of the way. That's the discussion with the board on the chicken law.
Yeah. Well, I sat down with Nate a couple of weeks ago. We came up with a, get another one. We made changes in the date, of course, to September 1st of this year. And we added in As we realize that, especially on a corner lot, joining the street, sometimes the side yard is the backyard. And so that's why we added in the side yard. Otherwise, everything's the same since back in November. And we came up with the application that individuals would fill out.
Okay. So that's a summary of the changes that you're presenting.
Yeah.
Discussion do we have about that?
I find the 240 square feet per chicken unreasonable.
I was gonna say the same. And there should at least be 2 chickens. Minimum.
Well, you have to have the figures.
There's 5.
Right, yeah, so Laura, what do you, just, I don't have a chicken in this fight, but are you proposing something in the alternative?
Well, I don't like us picking on people's yard sizes and stuff and whether or not they can grow food for themselves on their own property, including chickens and gardens, that like we're getting in people's lives too much. And,
can I help you frame your thoughts? Are you saying you would say no chicken law at all? Which is, again, I don't care. I just want to try to like clarify. Are you saying no, you don't want to regulate chickens? What we have is fine. It's working.
I don't want to wrap it up like that because I'll just be removed from the conversation. So.
Well, we want to understand what you're saying.
Right. So I want people to have the right to grow their own food and have chickens and other animals under proper like cleanliness and stuff. And so our current laws aren't well enforced, and that's just to keep them confined. And if we're already having such a hard time enforcing our laws, the application is really big about having to look up the side yard square footage and the backyard square footage, and then keeping away from lot lines and other people's structures. It really targets people who don't have like as much property or income as others. And those are the people who are trying to grow food to sustain themselves. And so I think we're attacking people and
would you prefer to go from the 240, for 240 square feet of backyard and side yard to just like a flat number for a size of a lot?
Yeah, we kicked that around months ago.
Yeah, and I never got any direction about that.
A quarter of an acre, and then you can have wherever you want.
Yeah, because that's a way to just not, to make it also less complicated for code enforcement. They just look up on GIS and say, oh, your property is, 10,000 square feet, you get no chickens. Your property is 25,000 square feet, you get 6 chickens, or 12, or whatever the number is. Is that the way you're thinking of, or again, is it more of the, my clear-cut description?
It's a lot of work on code to look all that up and make sure that the applicants are providing the right information. And then if we're already having trouble, with the office looking up flood stuff. And then this is a whole nother component and layer of like, they'll also have to look up that flood stuff and chicken law. And it's pretty overwhelming for them.
I appreciate that. I understand where you're coming from. One of the things, of course, that you folks can do is nothing. You don't have to regulate if you don't want to regulate. If you feel that there's something to address, then you can address it. If you feel that there's not, you don't have to. It's a very valid policy position and stance to take. I don't know what the other trustees
Well,
think.
the reason we started this discussion on chicken law is because some people are not good neighbors and they're not taking good care of their animals. And, we had letters of complaint to that. If there's nothing, you don't say anything as far as the cleanliness or, the care of the feed and all this. I mean, we don't have any laws on that right now. And people are not taking good care of their animals, some people. The majority are good animal people.
The county health department has the laws that monitor the feces and the smell. So, the village doesn't have to have laws that the county already has.
The county going to enforce these laws?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how many times
It's
they've
also
done
another
that.
issue.
Zero.
I mean, I think the chickens too, the chickens wasn't the issue as much as the roosters for some people. And we have had numerous people come to this board with complaints of noise for the roosters. And so I do think we have to do something to address that, in a small village with people, because people aren't happy about that.
And that can address the barking dogs too, because they're a pain in the ass.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, let's separate those two things. We can make a no rooster law like that, and several people won't like it, but we can do that, and we're going to do that, because we are. So we don't want to be getting into that again. I'm not fussing with you, but
No,
let's keep it with the chickens, and we'll do the roosters.
Well, I'm thinking this chicken law that we have is not horrible if we scratch out letter A, which is the no more than one hen per 240 square feet, and not more than 20 hens, whichever is less.
So
Other
what
than that,
footage are you
focused
going?
on like the maintenance of the feed and the coop and all the stuff that, like you said, there's county laws, but there's nobody coming to enforce that, because the county has no animal control at all. I had a possum in my house, they told me to whack it with a stick.
Yeah.
Did you catch it?
No.
I like it. Thanks for doing that. Because I was going to say, no, this is no joking matter. This is important and serious. And I still wanted to do my one for Kathy. Yeah, I think we should be able to have one chicken, but he can have two coops so he can go from, he's got a
No.
special extra coop for himself. No, that's that worthless joke. There is something that you've changed in this that I've had input on from, once again, numbers of people, and that's this idea of side lawn. People are talking to me, tiny little village, houses right next to each other. Sometimes that's okay, but houses right next to each other, they don't want chickens at their house. They want them, if it's gonna be in somebody's yard, they want them behind in somebody's yard, so it's behind by their yard. They don't want the chickens next to their house.
Well,
That's the idea of the side yard. What?
That's already covered in it as far as, distance from the, I don't know where it is right now, but we included that
So,
distance from
There's a distance,
property line.
there's a distance, but before it was supposed to be in the backyard. Now if it goes up the side yard, that makes that's a different deal.
It does say 10 feet from side lots.
Yeah, so your house is here and the other house is here, and it's gonna be, those chickens are gonna be 10 feet away from your place. People don't like that idea, that the side yard would be the place for the chickens.
So I guess,
And then there was another thing that my code guys were talking about, our code guys, that we have almost every corner in our village has a house that has two pieces of the house on one street, one piece and one piece on another street, but one of those is a side yard.
Right.
And
Yeah, I said, that's the whole point.
which point?
Depends on which street you're on, whether it's the side yard or the backyard.
So you're on the corner of Page and Main, and the house is there, and he can't have any chickens in his front yard because that's on Main, but he can have it on his side yard, which is on Page, which is actually right on the street. Every house on the corner, a side of it is out on the street.
you kind of have two front yards, actually.
they're kind of have two front yards in a way. I'm just telling you that.
However your zoning code interprets, because sometimes the codes read, those are both considered front yards. Not.
I'm glad you said that, because I've talked to the code guys.
You interpret it, or I would say it would need to be interpreted the same way zoning treats
I
correspondence.
just talked to the code guys about this for the last week, and they said that, nope, if the address is on Halsted and looks like the front of the house is on Ruth, that house is on Halsted. And that other thing is not a front yard. I went through that with them. I'm just commenting about something that I didn't think was a good idea, which was the side yard thing.
I think we need to look at this as in, we've gotten complaints from people about chickens, and to me, most of the complaints have been either because people have a rooster, or because the people aren't adequately taking care of their chickens. Nobody has come and complained to me because somebody has 600 chickens. So I don't know that we should be that concerned about how many chickens people have or don't have, but more about the way they're gonna take care of them, store the food, draw in the rats, and the roosters that make a bunch of noise.
So you, and this is just options, right? You could remove the prescription for number of hens. You don't even need an application. I mean, you could just have a law that says, here's the standards that apply. And then, like it happens with most enforcement, somebody complains, we go out, we observe, you determine that they built their coop too close to the side yard or whatever it might be. They're not keeping things appropriately, and then you follow up with enforcement. The downside of that is it's reactive, right? We're not helping people get things set up correctly. We're not there on the day before they build. They're gonna build and then ask for forgiveness, and that's like pulling teeth sometimes, you know, so you have to weigh in that balance. Again, it's ultimately policy decisions for you folks. I mean, no one way is the great way.
And this is also a local law that can be changed in 3 months, 2 months, or whatever.
Well, excuse me. What I was going to propose tonight is that we put this up for public hearing. And after the public hearing, we make changes.
Point of order. That's not the way we're supposed to do this stuff. When we put a law together for people to read and then come to our public hearing, that's the law. That's not supposed to be an idea, oh, maybe we'll do this. We did this 15 years ago where the gang put together a budget for the village of Owego, gave everybody in the village copies of the budget. We all went to the meeting. When that public hearing was closed, they then presented the 15 things that they really wanted to do. That's not the way to go about it. We need to have the thing, when we present it to the people, be the thing that we want it to be, not just an idea and then we'll change it all. That's generally but this is supposed to work. Maybe we take a couple of those things out if we don't want a couple of those things that are in there. We can do that.
The only thing that's changed from before, when we did have public hearing, is the side yard. You want to delete the side yard?
Are we talking about changing the size of the 250 for a chicken, or that was being discussed, whether we're gonna do that or not? I don't say we are, but weren't we just talking about maybe changing that?
Well,
I don't know, were we talking about that? I don't know. So that's a thought we're having.
We've been having that
The one-
since the beginning.
What's that?
We were talking about that when we talked about this 6-7 months ago.
It's almost
But the point is, if we don't have that right now, we don't put it on.
We talked about it then, and it still hasn't been addressed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to facilitate, because I mean, I think what I'm hearing is very mixed views on the draft as it is, right? It might be fine with some people, it might need some minor tweaks, it might be something that somebody doesn't want at all. You know, and as Rusty said, and Fran, I think I agree with Rusty, you know, when we schedule a public hearing on local law, it should be, this is the law that the village board would actually adopt, you know, minus some minor tweaking. But like, this is largely the final version that would be adopted. So it's not a great idea to present like, oh, here's 4 options of a chicken law. You know, give us your thoughts. I mean, so I don't think you guys are gonna make a decision tonight, but like, one big thing that I might ask you all for input on is, do you wanna limit the number of chickens? Is that something that you would wanna do? I think, Laura, you can tell me to shut up, but I think Laura would say, no, don't limit the number of chickens. I mean, what does the rest of the board think? Because if you say, you know, we're fine not limiting the number of chickens, then great, I'll remove that one. And then you guys can continue to discuss tonight, or we can move on to something else and you guys give more thought about like, do you want a permit or not? Maybe you say, the hell with the permit, we don't care. Or not that you don't care, but we don't need a permit right now, let's try it without it. As the mayor said, we can add a permit requirement later if you're finding difficulty in, you know, getting people to correct violations later on. You know, but again, I don't want to, you know, it's obviously a lot. It's something that is divisive. It needs good thought, and knee-jerk discussion and reaction is not great. I think you've had some good conversation tonight.
Yeah.
Just that one direction. Do you want to have a cap on the number of chickens?
And Kathy said that she wanted either a minimum or no minimum. I can't remember exactly what.
Minimum
Yeah,
two,
well,
which is a
It really should be probably 3.
But yeah, but still, that's an idea, a minimum as well as a maximum or none.
But there's also the New York State laws, you have to buy 6 at a time, which then you're off
Right.
for the other 3.
Yeah, but 3 of them could be roosters. When you buy them, you don't know
Well,
necessarily.
you can buy them.
I know a lot of people that go to Tractor Supply in different places and get
Yes,
6.
they'll always get a mistake in there every now and then, but they can be sexed, yeah. My thoughts on it are just pretty simple, that I do agree roosters do not belong in the village. But I say 3 to maybe 12 chickens max.
So you're talking about not 20 or 50 or 100?
No, there's no, you're getting an egg a day. You can go through a dozen eggs every single day for your family.
When you're done, I want to say something.
Yeah, no, the reason, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Fran.
The reason we were limiting the number of chickens is that we didn't want someone having a business in the village. This is for personal use only, household use.
Question, do we have people that have 100 chickens right now, or business?
I don't know, but I mean, we put a limit because.
I'm just curious if, like he said, are we creating a law that doesn't need to be created because we have people with 10 chickens and we're worried about 150? I mean, if that becomes a problem, we could address that at some point. Like, if we see, like, oh, there's a big cloud of ethane over this house.
A little piece. You ready, Mike? People that are doing chickens are doing anything are pretty good. I'm just saying pretty good at this. So when somebody says, oh, you got to buy 6, you got to get them in 6. Well, you'd go to your chicken buddy and you'd say, well, you're going to get 3 and I'm going to get 3. They'll be real good at with each other at figuring this stuff out. If they only want 3, they can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. I'm just saying there's a way for them to figure out how to do that. You got to buy 6 stuff. It's not nothing thing, but I don't think it's a very important thing. They'll figure out how to do 3.
You get one friend with 50 roosters.
Yeah.
People hatch their own too.
So what I've heard is really no roosters and complete disagreement about the rest of it. So I'm gonna put a law together that says no roosters.
Good.
That's
no, do that.
Right, but because I mean that's the thing that you all really agree on. I'm not sure if it's productive to keep going in this back and forth and around 40 times over.
How hard is it for
7
you to put
months.
together a law for no roosters? Not hard at all, right?
We would have Rob do
That's right, 'cause he did So let's have a public hearing, let's put a law together.
Yeah, we have to put a law together and then you can schedule. But I mean.
We'll put it together tomorrow and we'll schedule a public hearing for 2 weeks from now.
No, you have to have the law introduced to the board before you can schedule.
Before we can schedule a public
We
hearing.
have not drafted it, so you can't schedule a public hearing on something.
Get your butt out to the computer. Okay.
Okay, my only comment on this is, we all agreed on this law back in, beginning of January, except for the side yard. We had put it up for public hearing then.
But nothing ever happens, we didn't agree on it.
Well, if you have to agree to the law before you can have the public hearing.
It doesn't sound like we all agree.
If we
It sounds
say-
like Laura has one thought, Kathy has a thought, I have a thought. I don't know that we're all on the same.
You're saying though that, before we can, put something up for a public hearing, we all have to agree on it.
No, friend. What has to be agreed on is if the law gets adopted, that's the law that gets adopted.
Yeah, well, we did that back in January.
Right, but I think what happened is a majority of the village board did not choose to adopt that law. So if the law was to get adopted, then that was the law that was gonna get adopted. The majority of the board was not in favor. I mean, there's no.
Well, then why did we put it up for public hearing? We had it up for public
I
hearing.
don't know why the village board does some
I'm
of the
just
things
saying.
you guys do, Fran.
Some of
She
us
says
like
you
those
can't.
public hearings and wanna go so fast.
It's a good time.
So if we had a law that just said no roosters, that does not say we can't go back later, at a later date and say, we're going to put some other limits on here because it's done wild.
Correct.
I don't think, because we're asking Nick to maybe draw a no rooster law that we're saying, to heck with the chicken law, I think we're supposed to be fine tuning the chicken law. We just wanted to get that piece taken out of,
Because that seems to be the one causing the most
we
havoc.
want to get that piece gone.
Absolutely causing the most havoc.
I don't live next to them, so I don't hear them.
Right. And you're not gonna hear the chickens because they're pretty loud.
Other than there are some, Andrea sent me a video today of a female chicken acting like a rooster. That does
Oh,
happen.
that's okay. We'll let her go.
They have transgender chickens.
In New York State.
And not everybody is in favor of not having roosters, so we understand that. And that's another reason if we make that law and bring it forth, people can come and make their case again.
Yeah, well, we'd have to have a public hearing and all that kind of stuff. But I think at least we're more in agreement on putting together a no rooster law and presenting it. And so we're in agreement on passing it.
So Mike, I'm hoping that our folks that keep coming aren't incredibly upset about this. They like us to not have a restrictive, incredibly restrictive law. So the longer we don't have the restrictive law, yeah, they can't make certain plans, but at least we haven't done something like that. So every time we put this off, they're getting more time to have their chickens before we make any kind of decision whatsoever. So I hope they're not very angry at us because we can't seem to make up our minds exactly how to do it. We're trying to please a lot of people. We're trying to get it right.
So do we have any more discussion on this?
They want more?
No.
I could go all night.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Okay. Let's move on to the agricultural overlay.
Oh, there's some patient people here for that.
Let me give the update on that draft. So Rusty had some very good comments. I always appreciate working with him on these types of things because he prompts and reads with a critical eye. And so you'll see in the red line, we tweaked the definition of agricultural related activities to expressly not include some various commercial, some very clearly like commercial type of things that we don't want, or at least that Rusty said he doesn't want. Rusty added that the agricultural related districts could not be overlaid on the central business district and R1 districts. And then also not anywhere within the historic district. Rusty's thought is that those are zoning areas within the village that are just not appropriate for agricultural related types of activities. So this would still be allowed in R2, R3, and the other variety of business. You got half a dozen zoning districts.
Nate, can I interrupt for a second? But that doesn't mean that somebody in the historic district can't have a garden. It just means they can't have the agricultural district put there for bigger, more things. So that's not going to stop somebody from having a garden in a zone that
which all zones can have variance. That won't stop it.
And this also doesn't apply other than where it gets specifically applied by parcel.
Right, it has to be overlaid by the village board. You'll see we removed 195-152. That's because this was a list of prohibited uses. We just added this language to the definition to say agricultural related activities does not include all these things. So this is not gone, it's just been moved. Let's see, maximum lot coverage, so that got removed. The thought being, again, this is Rusty's thought, that the underlying zoning districts all have different maximum lot coverage requirements currently. I think the R3 districts, which is the one that we kind of talked about, has a 40% lot coverage. R1 and R2 is like 35%. I didn't look at all the other zoning districts. I imagine they're somewhere similar like that. I emailed the updated draft to Mr. Johnson. He responded earlier this afternoon, saying basically probably 50% is what they would be looking for once they put the new barn arena in. So, you know, that's either you can do just the underlying zoning district, and apply for an area variance for the larger barn, or you could just say, we'll allow, 50% lot coverage. If you could do some math on it, because I'd hate for it to be 50% and you're like, oh, I really needed 51. So just and again, that's up for the board, but having that information is helpful for the board to consider when putting this stuff together. And then aside from that, those are the only other changes other than some renumbering and stuff.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, again, I know a lot of stuff, but, so we talked about that and about if there should be a lot size or whatever, and the way that would work, and it better work this way, is if we'll use the Fair Board as an example, wanted to put up a stadium there, or whatever we call it, right, and it would end up being over, then they would just ask the zoning board of appeals for a variance to put up something bigger there. And I can't imagine that would become any kind of problem because of where it is, what it is. That's just another way that we're opening it up for you guys to be able to do something like that, or anybody else. But there may be a place where we don't want somebody to put up something big, and then that would not happen there. So I wouldn't mind if you would have, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say fenced areas don't count towards lot coverage. So,
Yeah.
Whatever you have currently is like a fenced in area. It's just an open yard, basically, right? So just want to make that clear.
Would you allow Mr. Johnson to speak? I would be interested to know what he thought, because he had a couple of things that he talked to Nate about it, and I'd be interested to know what he thinks, or if there were other things that he wanted to say something about. Would you give him the floor for that?
What do you got here?
Well, if you look at how that property lays, it's kind of a squirrely angle going back through there where the village property line and our property line kind of meet back there in that back corner. Ideally, you just give us that back corner and then just call it good. Then we're good to go 40%. But with what we're at today, once this new building goes in, we're going to be crowding that 50%. So, I just want to make sure that whatever we do, down the road, we don't have any other problems, because, once you build something, you might look at it and go, we should have put a shed roof addition out, or we should do this, or we didn't do that. There's a lot that happens down there. I don't know if anybody was down there this weekend to see all the horse people. There had to have been 250 trucks and trailers down there with horses, for the show this weekend.
So one of the things you could do is combine those two lots. Because you got a pretty big vacant lot next to one that has some building or two on it. And just saying that would solve a lot.
So we had this conversation, so go ahead, Janice.
My concern is if we were to combine them, one is currently zoned business, one is zoned residential. I assume they would all become residential at that point.
It'd be split zoned.
They could be split zoned. Okay,
What
that
we
was
would
my
do is-
concern.
I'm sorry.
Because I just want to limit what we can already
Yeah.
do
No,
on that
the
parking
existing,
area.
existing delineation between the two would continue.
Can I throw something in?
Okay.
Yeah, if that happened, you would use your business property, where you use your parking, that would become part of your whole picture. And then you would have, unless you wanted to build 2/3 of that up with something, but you have less. And then when you buy the backside of the school property, so your thing is a square, and when you buy your square all the way to, almost to the railroad tracks, you buy that backside from the guy who doesn't even want that school anymore. Now you'll have a nice piece of property to put some more stuff in.
You know that sold, right?
Just now?
They auctioned it off on the, closed on the 11th.
I did not know that.
It was up for auction.
Are we talking a county auction or a thing?
Private auction.
And so they sold the whole thing?
Company out of Buffalo, yeah, there was lines and lines of BMWs from New York City down there looking at it.
Oh, goody.
A week or so ago.
Can't put your marijuana growing thing in there, guys. Good luck to you. Not
So,
gonna happen.
you know, ideally, yes.
I'm just a
We'd love
thought.
to have that 10-acre piece of grass behind us.
Yeah.
Because then that would make my life a whole lot easier, but they don't want. So I guess roundabout, if we combine those two lots, then that exempts us from that 50% rule or 40%, whatever you.
Doesn't exempt us, but it keeps us compliant.
Right, keeps us
Yeah.
compliant.
Well, you can ask for us to overlay that.
Exactly.
So there's just some more options. Thank you for letting me talk to Mr. Johnson. Were there other things?
We just want to make sure that when we are doing our things down there in 20 years down the road or 30 years down the road, somebody doesn't get a wild hair and go, you have chickens. And I'm not picking on you guys to do chickens, but I'm just saying that could happen.
It could.
And that's why we need this, as well as for our farmers market that we're starting down there to make sure we are code compliant with that stuff. So, you know, it's not about today or tomorrow, it's about what's gonna be in 20 and 30 years and well after I'm out of here, you know.
Wish they would have thought like that 20 or 30 years ago.
Yeah, right. Well, so, you know, you look at delay, there's a building down there on our lot that had a lease agreement for 99 years, we're 30+ years into that lease agreement, and there's no signed lease agreement. So here's what happens when people don't see these things through.
Is that Tractor Supply?
No, no, the 4-H buildings, Cornell Cooperative Extension has a 99-year lease. Well, no, they don't. It's written, but it was never signed and enforced. So I'm like, come on, we got to get this done. That's why we're trying to tie up all these loose ends. And we can work with this 40%, and if we find it's a problem, then we combine the two lots into one, not a big deal. And I can go over to the GIS and have Brian over there look and make sure we're gonna be under that at this point anyhow, so not a big deal.
And aside from the variance potential with the zoning board of appeals, which we have no control over, you can come back and spank us and say, hey, I told you so. Now you need to change the overlay from 40 to 50 with our spanking.
Right, and it can always be changed down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm good.
Moving along.
So, does anyone have any other concerns, revisions, changes to the draft overlay?
No. Can you say again what you said about,
Say yours, oh yeah, I signed that, didn't you?
you said it's not allowable, it would be allowable in the business district, historic district, R1 or R2?
No, not in R2, we didn't say that.
No.
Just R1?
I think we said R1, but I don't know.
Central business.
And central business, not just business?
And
Central business, historic, R1, no.
Those are the places you could not apply.
Yes. No, I mean.
But you can still have a garden.
Yes.
But this thing has nothing to do with gardens. This is to have a giant agricultural thing.
Okay.
We're not denying gardens. We're
gardens.
creating a new thing somebody can do. We're not taking things away.
What's the school listed as?
It listed R1.
It's R1? So,
We may end up changing that.
Schools business.
They got,
the school has a bunch of farmers of
Oh, wait,
America.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's,
I was thinking of the school by those fairgrounds.
where they do that is in the town of Owego.
Oh, the cows are the time.
We have.
Okay, let's
as long
slow
as
down.
As long as it's a school district or educational program, they can do whatever the hell they want.
and can I answer this, Mike? Huntington Creek is the village line. All their agriculture is on the other side of the old pumpkin patch, on the other side of Huntington Creek Town of Owego. So anyways, they can already do things there.
What about like the talk opportunities They have their community garden.
That's also an R1.
That's an R.
What you're asking about a community garden again?
Yeah.
Doesn't apply.
Like, those seem to, the school and the park opportunities seem like spaces that would be open to having agricultural endeavors.
So if it's something like a community garden, we need Mr. Weeks to talk to Nick and Terry about whether they interpret the code to allow community gardens in whatever these zoning districts are. Community gardens are very different than the agricultural related activities that Mr. Johnson and the Owego Fair Board are looking to do. This ag overlay is just about that farm related, actual farm type related activities. I mean, you can't actually put a farm. You do a lot of farm related stuff is the intention of this.
So this law will not stop people from doing these things. This overlay is to give those special places the ability to do things that they can't do now. Everybody can have a garden now. That's not what this is going to do, is tell people they can't do that.
This will say you can have a farmer's market there.
What else you got?
And that's coming, that, we've got a lot of good responses of people reaching out. We probably had 25 people reach out. We probably got 4 to 6 people under contract already for our opening day.
Nice.
When is opening day?
I don't know.
The sixth.
I don't know.
6.
June 6th.
I knew it was coming
October
up.
12th, I don't know.
June
We'll
6th.
open June 6th.
I'm glad to see it walkable again for people.
Day of the hosting.
Laura, you got anything more on that, or are you okay? Okay.
Can I add one last thing?
Sure.
All of the confusion that I've seen, and I've seen a lot of people asking questions about it, and a lot of people are upset about it. Perhaps if you could make clear that this is not something you are imposing on anyone, that you have to request it. Because people think that these are new laws that are being imposed upon them, when it is not the case whatsoever. But that is, all the confusion that I've seen out there is, everyone thinks this is something being forced on them, when it is not.
Well, now that's a matter of public record, right, Ron?
Well said. Well said, because as Doug is worried about, everybody else is worrying about, no, this agricultural district, it applies everywhere in the village. Only if somebody asks for it and then we
But
put it
that's
there.
unclear.
Otherwise, it doesn't apply anywhere. Yeah, but
That's
we'll
not
make that
unclear.
clear. We'll make that clear, won't we?
It says it's right in the law already.
It says it in there, so, yeah, except nobody knows the law.
They gotta read it. I say go, go, go.
So if the board is comfortable with the drafts, then I'll accept all those red line changes. That'll be the final one. We'll put the 239 referral letter together. I do need to just very quickly draft a local law that includes the tax map number to rezone, or excuse me, not rezone, to apply the overlay onto this particular property. That'll.
You told me we couldn't do that till we did the other.
I'm not done yet. That'll take 2 seconds.
I'll interrupt that
Ready
way.
for the next village board meeting to introduce, so you can schedule a public hearing on the application of the overlay, so we can move forward with the creation of the overlay district right now in the 239 referral of that. So we've got the law, it's in final form. 239 comments, you gotta give 30 days. You can schedule a public hearing on this for probably, when is the county planning board planning meeting?
Like the 16th or so.
Yeah, so that's, I don't know if your meeting on June 15th is gonna hit that or not. I don't know if you guys wanna schedule a special meeting for this, just to do this one thing. But if you do that, then the week of June 22nd would be a time in a week to schedule a public hearing on creation of the overlay district, and then at your next meeting, we'd probably also schedule for that same day, the rezoning or application of the overlay, I should say.
Well, we're gonna have
You
budget
got
meetings
that?
in June anyway. Maybe
Step.
Well, do you know when you're having your budget meetings in June? It's
Usually every Monday.
Are there's 5 Mondays in June.
Right.
There's lots of Mondays.
I'm gonna try and avoid the 29th.
We're gonna have it the 6th Monday.
So I would say if you want, then schedule a public hearing on the adoption and creation of this ag overlay district for June 22nd at Are you meeting at 7? Are you meeting at 6? Meeting at special meeting?
If you change the time, let me know.
I know,
At 7 PM.
it was in the email.
Which one of the 30?
Okay.
I mean, we need to vote on this
You
now.
would need to vote on that if you want to schedule a public hearing.
For the
I
22nd?
think we should do that. He frames it much prettier than I do.
Is that a motion there, Donald? Motion?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Second? Public hearing 22nd.
I like the little head bob thing you have going.
Yeah.
What time are you gonna do it, Mike?
What time are you gonna do that? It'll be a special meeting. Eventually it'll be about the budget too.
Because we'll probably be, yeah, because it's June 22nd, we gotta have a public hearing and then have a number of days to get it in by July 1st, boom, with a bang, with a bomb. We gotta do all that.
I would say 7. Because then people don't get confused.
Yeah,
Thank
true.
you.
You're welcome.
I get any younger, Mike. I need consistency.
Oh, the judge wanted it earlier. That wasn't my idea. Okay, we have a second for that?
I seconded.
We do it. So this is to have a special meeting and schedule a public hearing. Rusty,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Debbie,
Yeah.
and Andy.
Mike,
Add it to
quick
your
question.
calendar.
How will that work with our 14 days here and there? If we have a public hearing that night also about the budget, will we have then enough time to do everything we have to do by July 1st?
To adopt your budget.
Sure.
And we have to have that in the state by the 1st, I think.
We can have the public hearing and then adopt it then.
Yeah, you can adopt it that same night.
Jack?
You can adopt it the same night you hold the public hearing.
So should we have a public hearing on the 22nd also for the budget?
I don't.
Not you, I'm asking Mike.
No, what's the?
Who are you?
There usually is like by the middle of the month, one of the
Yeah.
before the. Year starts. Have a deadline. Adopt it. That's this one is, I'll call it.
Yeah, but you-
We have to have that in July 1st.
I don't have the budget deadline. on my fingers.
I think, isn't it July 1st, we always have to have that done then?
Yeah.
So then we need a public hearing, probably the 22nd. Yes, no?
I mean, we can set
Thank
it,
you.
we don't have it ready.
Thank you. I gotta go home and have dinner.
Yeah.
Definitely not ready. We haven't even really started.
But I said we gotta do it, so yeah. Or we'll have to have a special budget meeting on the 29th or the 23rd or something, okay?
Yeah, definitely done that.
Jay, your birthday.
It's my birthday, 29th,
That's a good day.
Which day's the birthday?
29.
the next Monday.
So did we vote on the public hearing on the 22nd for the first thing?
For the first thing, yes.
So do we wanna do the one also for the,
I mean, you can set it in the books, you can always move it. Change it if we have to.
I have it, then forget about it.
I think that's a fine idea.
move we have a public hearing at,
So, 10.
7:10, yeah, because this is all we're gonna let anybody talk about. No, don't be talking at that one. 7:10 on June 22nd for budget.
Second.
Hopefully we're ready by then. Fran?
Budget. Budget, yes.
Oh, Terry.
It's trying to keep us on our toes, that's great.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
I haven't called you Charles yet.
Telling you when he used to call me, I get so.
I know, should be added to be Charles, it's fine.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
Clerk?
Yeah, we got,
First we got just a notice that the Italian market
Oh, yeah.
applied for a license to sell liquor, wine, and beer. We don't do anything about it, we just.
no, the
we just
news there is that they're moving from Front Street.
They're moving to North Avenue. They'd be moving to Lynn's Drugstore.
That sounds fine.
So this is our notice that if we want to have something to say to the state, we have 30 days to object in some form.
I assume that's an appropriate location for alcohol.
What does off-premise license mean?
To sell on premise, I would imagine.
Means indoors, is it not?
No.
No.
If you know something we don't know, damn it, tell us.
I
Want us to tell you?
In the tiniest little time frame.
The state allows you to do it.
What it means is that as long as the person who is serving alcohol at your function has an alcohol license, that they can do that. If you have someone come in and they don't have that license, they cannot serve alcohol at your function. That's what off-premise means.
Catering reasons.
Yeah.
Off-premises.
Oh, right, okay.
So they can go somewhere and serve alcohol, okay.
That's how we
Or
work with the wine
they can
bar.
have a special event and that nonprofit can have them come in and serve. But it's not at their site. I tried to do it short, but he wouldn't.
Oh, no, he complicates everything. Thank you.
For catering, makes sense.
One of the things that we asked Seller to do when they came with the 30-day, we asked them, and they had their, I can't remember how it was written, that they would be able to serve outside the building.
Oh, yeah.
And we asked him to remove that from his application because we don't want people, sorry, Kathy, serving alcohol on Lake Street and on Front Street on the sidewalk. So you have to, on your license, I think you have to say that you're going to do that.
We're talking about North End, there's no rules over there.
Yeah. So I'm just interested to know what the license says. Okay. But anyways, we've been notified, so we. But if we do have any questions or anything, we have to do it before the 30 days runs out.
Correct.
I hope it brings some life to North End.
Yeah, be nice.
I mean, you seem really nice looking store.
I'm not fussing with you.
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing.
The court clerk, has anybody thought about that? So I know our previous discussion was to try and fit what we currently have. Judge or I haven't found anybody willing to do that. So.
Were you able to contact the state or whatever, figure out what the consequences are of this?
No, I never got a hold of them to figure out what happens if, maybe Nate.
The court would contact the Office of Court Administration and say they currently have no court clerk and they need assistance, and ask OCA to assign them somebody from one of the nearby townships to provide backup service until we can find a body. That's my experience.
Do we pay for that?
Yeah, like prevailing
Yeah.
wage or.
Well, I mean, you have to pay the person, yeah. I mean, okay, you know, OCA will tell you, I guess. I mean, the original was free.
Yeah, do it forever.
Yeah, right.
So, what we need to decide is it part-time or full-time, and what is the salary?
Part-time and full-time was very confusing to me. Like, it was part-time, and they said it was fine, and now it needs full-time. I'm
Yeah.
perplexed on the reasoning, I guess.
I don't know. Part-time is up to how many hours?
So for what purpose?
Yeah, we talked about that, 19 and a half or 32 stuff.
Yeah, so for purposes of like getting benefits, it's 32. For purposes of civil service job protections, it's 19 and a half, 20.
So if they work 32, we wouldn't have to offer benefits. Or
Please,
It might be less than 32. 31 and a half. 31 and a half.
Mike, did you get a chance to ask him about some of the stuff we were talking about? Probably didn't. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Nate, so we hire somebody full-time. Can we have a probation period?
Yeah, I mean, everybody who's civil service has probation period. This person is also the confidential court clerk. And so you can't terminate them without the judge's cooperation.
Okay.
And so, and I believe the judge, because of the nature of the position, can fire them basically at any time.
You can fire them without us, but we can't fire them without him.
Right.
So, forget, if there's a probation, certain things can happen then in a probation period. If there's no probation period, can you still fire him?
Yeah, I mean, that's the point of it being a confidential position.
Okay.
And I'm going off of memory here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's no exceptions to that.
She really wouldn't.
Doesn't really
Well,
apply
well,
to
Matt.
a court clerk position.
Okay. That's what we're talking about.
As long as it's truly the confidential secretary position, which there is only the one court clerk position, right?
I'm gonna, we need to do something here, so, and I don't like doing this stuff where we're not ready and stuff, but we have to do something. I'm going to eventually here make a motion. What's that?
55 is the number.
55 is the number. Okay. Just give me a minute here.
Don't wait much longer on these things.
Okay, so right now in our budget, we have 36, I think, for our current clerk. We're about to come into June and July, 2/12, 1/6, I'm rounding off, 1/6 of the year left on this last year's budget. I'm gonna be having to make some motion that some money's gonna be from some line, someplace, added to that to make up that difference. And the difference between the 55 and the 36 is about 19 grand. And a 6 of that is, I forget what I was doing. 3 grand, something in that range. We're gonna have to appropriate through the 1st of August, 3 grand out of somewhere if we're gonna decide to pay somebody this amount of money.
And then next year, obviously,
We're gonna have to put something bigger in the budget next
Put
year,
that amount in the budget.
considerably bigger.
And know what it is for.
Yeah. Is that what we wanna do?
That's what I'm in support of.
Like the question, are we gonna do the 31.5 or the 40? 31.5 protects us from any money down the road wanting benefits that we can't afford. Even though she says she won't take them.
The person is fine with it, as long as they still get the state retirement.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Now, remember, they told us, our judges told us that somebody can't do this in a part-time thing. One told us it would take 1.5, one told us it would take 2. I know Dave was hoping and wishing and thinking he could get it done in 20 hours, but you can't.
There's a big difference between 25 and 31.5.
One question that I had is it, and I don't know about the position, but is it part-time hourly, or is it part-time set salary, like the police chief?
So this person would be hourly, they're not salary, because you gotta remember, right? Salary means nothing for purposes of overtime. Either they're overtime exempt or they're not, and the position is not administrative management, and does not make enough money annually to justify overtime. So, yeah. So you're just set an hourly rate.
So we set an hourly rate at 31.5, at 55 grand, and we decided we need 40, now we're up to 57, 58 grand.
They would still get paid their hourly rate.
Right.
And then overtime.
Yeah. 22,080 hours a year.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
$55,000 is $26.44. $26.44, and then.
Would be the thing for 55 grand.
55 grand.
Yeah, and I was just doing that same thing. The numbers on that.
26.45 get you a little bit more. So
Now, I don't know that whoever we're looking at would go for this. Because I wouldn't if I was that person, but we could hire this person part-time for the next 2 months till our new budget is in, and pay them something in that range, which would be $55,000 a year, something in that $26.45 an hour. Something we could do. If I was them, I wouldn't take that with the idea that we're then gonna budget it and this and that, but.
Well, I don't think we get to fire them without the judge's cooperation. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't matter.
Wouldn't matter if we would be hiring them, we would be hiring them part-time now.
Spending.
We'd be hiring them part-time now for this amount of money.
We'd be overspending in the court.
I'm just trying to put the money together.
So if we hire part-time and we decide that 40 hours is just ludicrous and it can be done in 30, can we address that later on, or does it have to be a constant full-time after that?
I mean, the judge is responsible for overseeing and managing their court, right? Like, it's it's not really up to you guys to say, well, Judge, we think you don't need it. Now, those conversations happen, but if the judge vehemently disagrees with you, then you just end up in a fight with the court about how to properly fund it.
I'm only over there next year doing an audit. I have no idea about this baby thing.
Yeah, and you know, that's where it's like, there's no good, clean answer for it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have great insight myself into like exactly how busy this court is to know, you know, anything about.
I see an awful lot of people every other Tuesday.
You know, the presentations last week were, I think, one of the busier courts in the region.
Dave says now he doesn't adjudicate them in a particular way. He says he has 100 court cases every week.
But they all require paperwork.
Yeah, they require paperwork. There hardly any trials or anything, but.
Their annual books are thick.
Yeah, they are.
Well, and it sounds like the paperwork is backlogged at this point.
Yeah, they're way behind.
Pretty well. So, I mean, I think no matter what hours we give this person now, I think they're going to have a lot to chew on.
That's true.
Well, you know, the one concern I still have is this isn't her job. There's nobody to train her.
Mm.
We're gonna have a hell of a learning
But if
curve.
she's been in a clerk's position before,
Right,
probably she
but
should have something, but I know
It's apples and apples, not apples and oranges.
This one is
Yeah.
a court person.
Correct.
but this isn't.
No, Kevin Coney was a court person. This is something else. We gotta train this
She's
person.
there a lot, I believe, and clients or.
And again, ultimately, it's not up to you guys to make a lot of these management decisions. It's
We're
just
not.
the only question.
We're making the money
is
decision.
fund it.
The money.
We're making the money decision with this little
And
chat
whether
right
it's
now.
full-time or part-time.
Trying to validate our investment, sir.
That, I mean, full-time and part-time drives whether or not we legally offer benefits.
I mean, we might get stuck in the same boat in a month from now. Screw this. It's too much.
Yeah.
Then we'll be back at the drawing board. Regardless, we have to find a way to fund it for. I mean, we're
Yeah,
still
I think-
minimum 2-3 weeks out if she does decide to accept.
The current funding level is not reasonable.
Yeah, won't this person have to give a
I would imagine.
couple of weeks' notice if they're doing things right? Yeah. So anyways, Mike, if we do hire the person at 55 grand a year for the next 9 weeks, it'll be about 10 grand, higher than the budget we have for the court right now. But back to where we will say that we're going to appropriate that money, and Rodney will say it, what line item is coming out, of course, blah, blah. That's our job if we're gonna do it.
I really don't see a lot of other potential.
I don't see any other option. You can't not have a court. You can't not have a court with, can't have a court without a court. Right now, the salary that is on that position is unreasonable, probably, as far as nobody's can do it.
Not for every 1.5 hours. 26:45. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility on that job.
That is true. And they have to be certified, right, so whoever it is will have to come in and take a training class and then get state certified or state to renew every year.
So that's another hurdle that may or may not go past.
You won't know until you actually fund the position, the person gets hired, and you go through,
Get into it.
What do we need to do right now?
fund the position. Appropriate monies.
Where do we appropriate monies?
Where to come from? No, I'm not gonna worry about that just for a second.
Paul's gonna.
Not
look
just
forward to it.
anything.
Don't worry.
It is pretty sparse, but we'll figure it out.
So we got a lot of extra 19 to figure out for next year's budget.
No, we're gonna need, at 55 grand for about 9 to 10 weeks, we're gonna need about $10,000 to fund it the rest of this year.
So basically, we might need 10,000 now, and then we can think about the rest during the budget talks.
Well, not necessarily, if we're gonna hire her now and we don't do something, some weird way, we're gonna be stuck with the 55.
Because it's not.
Well, I don't think this person's gonna take the job if it's a part-time job that they're not.
I have no idea,
That's
I'm not gonna
coming
go
from
based
what
on what.
Mike is indicating.
that she won't do it.
She's coming from a full-time job now.
I don't know
Why
if she'll
should-
take it
why
or
should-
not. I don't make that supposition. I don't
She's
know.
fine with a part-time, she's one step. And
She'd be willing to work 40 hours a week for $55,000.
Correct.
And you guys would be like, no, let's do 31 and a half hours for $5,000.
Well,
I'm not doing that, are we?
Well,
Yeah, but like, don't shoot yourself in the foot.
it would be fine if it was full-time though.
Yeah, but
I'd rather pay 40 at that price.
Right, right.
So I mean, back to it, I'm worried about what options are there with the judge, with the mayor, with the board, if something isn't going well on this, that we're not able to change courses. That's the thing I'm worried about.
Yeah, I mean, it's the judge's decision. It's his, it's his call.
It ends up failing audits, I mean, I assume they're on issues.
It's on the judge.
Need a quick question. Are you familiar that Broome County like consolidate all their courts and the,
Yeah, they haven't done, to my knowledge, anything to move that forward.
I heard you.
Vestal went to JC, but that's a different deal.
They might be, some of them might be talking with each other, and there's, always talk about consolidating some of the courts, but like, the village, you wouldn't consolidate, the way you consolidate the village court is you abolish it, and then the town court takes everything over. But you can't do that anytime before the expiration of the current elected justice's term. So like, you will always have village court through the end of the justice's term.
And we have to keep the entire court, right?
You have to keep the entire court. Yep.
So we gotta do this.
I couldn't buy a street sweeper with other municipalities.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta do this in person, should be paid, but what's the full-time?
What's that, Mike? What'd you say, Mike?
No, $26.
$26.45 was what?
At 40 hours a week.
$26.45 is what Nate said would be full-time salary for the 55 grand.
Oh, you know what? No, it actually would have been higher. 26.45 is for a 40-hour work week.
Right.
The 31 and a half hour work week.
I got the same number, that's why I was questioning.
Good catch.
So what is it again?
26.45.
Is
That's
for,
the
is
40
the,
hour.
it's a 40-hour week, blah, blah, blah. Hey, it's your decision, Mike. Do you want to do this?
I don't think we have a choice.
Well, then tell us you want to do this, we have to do it, and tell us to find the money,
I think we have to, we don't have a choice.
and let's do it.
Find the money, Rod.
Yeah, we'll see.
Got to find 10 grand for the rest of this year, and then we got to find 36 to 55, 19 grand more next year.
We'll have to look at this year, because obviously we've had different people in there portions of the year, so they may not be spent to the level.
Yeah, that's right, because if we, even just for a couple of weeks of Kathy and stuff, we got a little more, some more nickels and dimes.
So what are we doing?
Do you need a motion?
No, so I mean, the mayor, looking at the statute, the mayor appoints the clerk only upon the advice and consent of the village justice. And then you can only get rid of the clerk with advice and consent of the village justice. So it's your decision in the first instance to appoint. The judge then gives his consent to it. And then so you could appoint her now, is what I'm thinking. And then you don't have to do it at a meeting because it's just your authority to do it. So you can do it tomorrow after you identify where the heck the money's gonna come from, actually fund the rest of the position for this fiscal year.
Okay, so I don't have to do that at a meeting.
No.
So Rodney's gonna,
Because we wanted to like figure it out, so it kept moving.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's.
So it's all some discussion, I guess. We're just gonna do it.
He's gonna appoint them, and that'll be it.
somebody's gonna find 10 grand somewhere to pay this person the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Or whatever the number is.
And then the mayor will come with a budget modification to shift funds from whatever to this and that and the other.
Okay.
And
But nothing.
Not yet.
Nothing.
Okay.
because we don't have anything to do with it, with the hiring, all we have to do is approving the salary.
Well, budget allocation, I suppose.
We'll have to do that in the new
Not even
budget.
really the salary, just the overall budget, which includes that salary. All right, councils.
Let's move it.
We had set up a public hearing for a local law to override the tax limit, which we do every year just as good measure because you never know. If it comes in at 2.1% or something like that.
Move the local law to override the tax limit.
Schedule a public hearing.
Right.
Move the public hearing to have the local law override the tax limit.
We can do that in the next, we can do that in the next meeting, right?
Can we have that ready for the next meeting?
Yeah, Ron's,
Sorry,
well, I don't know, Nikki or Kim actually put it together already.
June first. Public hearing, we'll have a public hearing June first. Did Ron move it or I move it?
I seconded you.
Thank you.
Pay attention.
I'm the public hearing guy today.
Vote on that, let's just have a public hearing. Fran,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Rusty,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Yes.
and yes.
Was it June second?
Mhm.
7 o'clock?
The next one is to accept the treasurer's report.
Have to.
June second or first?
I will make a motion to accept the
Second.
treasurer's report for April.
I'm sorry, you weren't done yet. Now I'll second.
Perfect. Any questions about the treasurer's report? First, I will analyze it strictly for the court very soon. Okay, let's vote on that. Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
And yes. Next one is the payment of bills.
I want to do that one. I move that we pay the bills.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the bills? I know you checked that one. Right?
Why do they keep coming back every damn one?
Every time. Yeah, good job. It's like our mailbox. All right, we'll go on the bills. Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Russ?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
And yes. Minutes. I got 2 sets there.
Look at it.
Yeah, I motion we approve the minutes for the first meeting, it's like the 4th.
May 4th.
Not like the fourth, is it the fourth?
Yeah,
Yes.
May the 4th.
Thank you.
Star Wars Day, Rusty.
I'm just picking on the language. Is it the fourth or is it like the fourth?
It was just like.
I'm picking on the like language from everybody.
Okay, we have a second.
Sure. Ron got it.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion about those minutes from May the 4th? Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Abstain.
Kathy? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
And we got May the 11th, which was our special meeting where we talked about the court clerk.
I motion we approve those as submitted also.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion about those? Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kathy?
Abstain.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
And yes.
Good, that's how
Rusty
you report.
reports. Rusty,
What do we got?
Trustee report.
we got.
I won't give a report if Laura promises not to give one long one.
I've given one.
You are really? Don't do it. No report.
Okay. Yeah, you can make it. Kathy?
Report.
Ron?
I was gonna, praise Nate for his job, but since he's leaving, I'm not gonna do that.
This is like a little buddy, right?
I have no report.
Okay. We're down the Laura.
Okay, about the coordination and communication regarding the flood risk reduction grant that we have. In March, I filed a FOIL request, and late March, I filed a FOIL appeal, and today I started receiving, finally, some of the information from our hired consultant. So it's, a really big delay, and it's upsetting that I have to wait so long just for basic information to be supplied for the grant.
Good thing that consultant already resigned.
JHE Consulting announced that they'll be resigning in September. And we did request a major change to the goals of the grant, but the DEC coordinator responded that the village may not transition the grant away from floodplain management to a comprehensive plan.
I hadn't seen that, okay.
So I have again included work planning budget suggestions. And those are in my report. The Binghamton University groups, the students had their poster presentation of their results. So I attended that. They have turned over website ownership to David Nixter at the present, and we will be figuring out the transitioning the ownership away from a .edu site to it being hosted here when we do. And that'll also be the same for the flood stories website. Those are both on Google sites. And so the information is transitioned and then turned over, but it's just not in our hands just yet. And then, so we had a flood communications group. They developed a website for us. And social media products for communicating flood protection information. These meet goals that of floodplain management, not exactly at the grant, but in tangent to. And the flood storytelling, they collected stories, oral history, and they collected it onto a website, photos. And then the third was a natural resource inventory. It's geographic information services. So it's information on a map with all these different layers that show our natural resources. So it's where our boundaries are, tree cover, soil types, buildings, trails, fishing access, wells. It has both public information and our sort of private office information, so it's not available to the public, but we do have the Army Corps of Engineers layers that we've provided that show all the storm drains and the sewer system, the catch basins, and so it's all on this map, and we can attend to having the information, all the information in one spot that we need. And they also created us like a dictionary to describe what each layer is and sort of how you can read it. So that's really useful for us to have our records collected, and it helps us with future grant proposals. So the CEC solar project is, that's for having solar on the roof of this building. Today, I met with the clean energy coordinator, and we submitted the 3 of the measurables: the contract, the change order, the sun application, and we're going to send the revised metric workbook tomorrow, but we were looking it over because there's some little numbers changed. So we're making sure on that. So the as current, the total amount of the roof system we're getting is $204,520, and that's going to offset our energy usage for like 30 plus years of this building and a little bit of the energy use next door. So it's all paid for by grants.
So we're back to net zero now?
Yeah, we're gonna net zero this building.
That number's been all over the board.
Was it a million?
Yeah.
Then it was 30,000. Now it's net zero.
I'll be
Whatever it
curious to
is.
see the real world implications of it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm praying to God.
That's not your number, so
No, I'm just
somebody else's number.
hoping it's the net zero.
I hope so. Actually, it'd be nice to keep jacking the rates up.
We would be supplying all the power that we need for our building, but we're not gonna have batteries, and we are still gonna be tied to the grid, because, you know, we're not, even if we got batteries, they only last like maybe 4 hours at our use. So we can consider getting grants for that.
But this is down the line, so
Yeah.
this is not, that's not information for the board right now.
In the summer months, yeah, when we're creating more, we do.
So then they have to pay us.
They would have to credit us, yeah.
They just credit us, but
I'm sure they pay a nice delivery fee too.
Yeah, right?
yeah, we
Zero.
always do pay a delivery fee. Until we're disconnected, we would be.
No, I mean, they need to pay us a delivery fee.
Yeah,
We're
right.
sending it back to them.
Good luck with that. They'll probably charge us extra.
The reception fee. Now we don't pay delivery, they have to receive it from us, we gotta pay them.
Let's charge you a storage fee.
Yeah, probably storage fee.
You got it? Is that-
So we're still waiting for the FEMA documents. They haven't come. Okay. And then we had the local in-person floodplain management training. That was Thursday. It was cool to see the town of Owego shared services and like all their stuff. We did have Nick and Meg and some planning and zoning chairs were there, and it was a good turnout. It was a full room. Brianna Worley was the presenter, and she's our state NFIP coordinator for our region. And so during it, Dean Morgan provided a history of the work completed by the town under the Shared Services Facility Capital Project. So the town of Owego installed a gasoline and diesel pump filling station located out of the floodplain. And it's available for other government agencies in an emergency if other gas and diesel filling stations are unavailable. And they also have an emergency operations center that became active in July of '24. They have 3 weather stations to monitor conditions, and they added an emergency management page on their town website. That's townofowego.com. They are an official storm-ready community certified from the National Weather Service. And so I would like us to start looking into some of these mutual agreements ahead of time where we get our guys the cards so that they can use those pumping stations when they need to. So we would just have to, you know, make some arrangements ahead of time that, like, who's driving trucks that would need to, you know, get over there, and that they would have access cards to fill up, and then we just got this arrangement set up, like, that we have to pay for the gas, but it'd be there when we can't get it. And they're getting it from Scott Smith and Son anyway, so it's already all the established sources. It's just a place where we're able to access it in an emergency. And then also that we could get one of our officials maybe into the room with our emergency operations or partner together more with them just to get more information out when storms coming from their weather stations, because the village is entirely encapsulated in the town's area that they're collecting the weather information and the storm information. So it would provide us with just coordinating with them to get emergency information out faster. And that is my report.
Yeah, it was interesting to me that the town set up an emergency, like, center, and they control no emergency departments at all.
Yeah.
And we actually have one too at the police station without the weather stations. It's all set up with backup phone lines and generators and on the floodplain. And the county has one at the jail, which is the real actual official one. It's just funny to me that the town set one up and they have no fire department, no police department, no EMS. So I don't quite know what they're gonna manage there, but whatever.
Well, they do have, so many fire stations in their district, you know, so they're sort of overseeing a lot of that
They
as
have
part
no
of their.
oversight of them. They're all fire districts. They have zero oversight. But anyway, that's a different topic.
Yep.
Town politics. Because they spent tons of money on the Taj Mahal. I know. All right, Terry.
We had our volunteer EMS meeting last night. They are planning for Strawberry Festival along with Derek. We had a new volunteer who came. Unfortunately, they did not have their quorum of 10 because several of the volunteers went off to the fire call last night. So they couldn't vote him in. But he is young. He will be 16 actually in a few weeks. So it's probably better that we wait because he can't start doing anything until he's 16. So, and it's a fairly congenial meeting, so life is good. Okay.
Fine.
Enjoy that movie.
For 10.
I take it once in a while when I
For
get
this
it.
meeting.
Yep.
Brad.
No report.
Good job. Down to me. Working on some more planning for the big boy. Yeah, it's coming, like.
What is the number that we're expecting? I've heard like 20,000 now.
Nobody knows.
Okay. Because they said, the mayor said 20,000 people. Like, I've never heard that number.
People are really excited about
That's the Bob Williams,
That's the
numbers
Master
for a
Study
3,000 person strawberry festival.
I just, I heard it on Facebook.
But it's only half an hour. I mean, it's not that long, right?
There are a lot of people coming, but.
Like 35 minutes?
Well, they're gonna be watching it from Indian Girls Monument,
They will.
because they ain't gonna be anywhere near it.
But, yeah, no, I guess there's, I mean, we've had a lot of people reach out to us from different groups and stuff. From out of the area. They want to bring bus
Curious
of
if
people.
you knew of any inflated numbers that.
No.
Where are they gonna park buses?
Yeah, I saw
That's
that.
what we got to figure out.
Oh, okay.
I saw that we're only planning on shutting down like 2 really small streets, like the John R. Street.
That is not
and the-
correct, darling.
We don't
Excuse
have
me for
any
saying darling.
plan really
So
yet.
far, that's
We haven't
what's
got a plan
online.
like that we've not decided we're only gonna shut down 2 streets, and we're gonna have 57 cops on there, and we're gonna have 67 fire police, so it's not 2 streets.
Okay,
It's just not known yet.
yeah, so what's available online, the tourism has a website with a map that shows what's currently planned for shutting down, and it looks like it's not
How would tourism
gonna
know that?
be,
They've
well,
been
they're
talking
working
to us.
in groups.
With the mayor?
With the mayor, yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I have concerns about like Page Street and stuff, like on any
Yeah,
day
me
when
too.
we're driving down, it's really hard to navigate. And then we're having like all these people, including buses from out of town. Like, I think we're gonna foresee some like big problems with people navigating through.
Yeah.
So like, can we think about asking buses to drop off by like the neighborhood depot or to have something and then we have them move their buses?
Right, that's the idea, which we gotta get with Joe and like work it all out. And Becca was trying to figure out where was gonna allow people to park and like where can we park all these people.
We have a lot of handicap.
Right.
people.
Becca, we can't figure that for you. We're gonna figure that in-house. We'll let you know.
Would have been choice for the application.
Because they were a hard no when we talked about
The closing, so saying.
You could park buses at the old grocery store parking lot.
that. Yeah, right.
Down by Aldi's.
We're in Union, yeah.
That's a
We could do the Walgreens too.
Yeah, true.
The county should let us do that.
Yeah, the county owns that house. But anyway, we gotta figure all that out.
Yep.
And we don't have a lot of hard details, because we don't have any idea if it's gonna be 100 people or 100,000.
No answers today.
But we're working on that with me and Joe and Becca from tourism. She was going to all the businesses to try and figure out, like, if they wanted to do something, be part of it kind of thing.
The neighboring businesses, right?
You
The
know,
ones
she's
that
talking
were
to
like
everybody.
right there.
She's talking to everybody because these people are coming from everywhere, so they're gonna need to stay at the bed and breakfast.
That's her stuff.
That's
Tyler's
that's
stuff.
tourism's realm. Me and Joe are supposed to figure out the logistics of like what streets we think we should close, because it's probably like my whole neighborhood.
What about Erie Street?
Don't try to fine tune this right now. What about 93 Temple? No, don't.
No, leave Temple Street alone, this month.
We can't fine tune this.
The whole thing's gonna be a mess, to be honest. And from talking to the railroad people, what happens is, so this thing comes, stops, does its thing, and then drives on. Half of these people are gonna wanna follow it.
Like storm chasers.
Right. So the traffic, like, getting through the village to get out there is gonna be.
It's easy to fix, just off the railroad on them.
Yeah, right.
The good news is it's a regular day of school,
It is, yeah.
and it's during the middle of the school day, so we are not going to have buses in the middle of all this, which is great.
School buses.
I thought they were coming in. Didn't they
No.
say that 400 students were coming in?
They're gonna live stream it now.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a much better plan.
They were gonna bring 400 kids, but they're gonna live stream it now.
Where are the places that people think they're gonna put 400 kids?
I don't know.
On the track.
That's the other thing, is we have to keep everybody to follow the rules.
Yeah, crowd
That'll be
control.
the hardest part.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the biggest issue is it's senior lunch around that time.
They don't know when we leave.
Lots.
I know you don't wanna drive through Owego at either 9 AM or 3 PM.
Yeah.
Cause I do both, dropping the kids off and picking them up.
Like,
It's horrible.
all right.
What else we got?
So, and it's only half an hour, right?
It's only half an hour, yeah.
I won't even be open yet, it'll be fine.
We'll go down and watch it.
Was it
I'll
Friday?
be there.
It's a Friday.
Yeah, I don't open until noon, so
Absolutely.
I do not have any desire to be around that many people.
Is there any update on the contract or the start of when we're, of the public art?
Oh, so right.
Sam Castner has signed it. It's, I think, gonna be back on your desk because there were some revisions. So yes, they are starting. They are going forward. It is.
They've already started building them, right?
I believe he's ordered, or in the process of ordering some of the steel, because that's like the biggest thing. And I believe he's going to come and maybe, he's gonna take the models back because he needs them for perspective when he's doing his work. He put that in the email, so.
And then is there a sign ordered for the site coming soon, DRI project?
I don't know, we'll make sure on that.
That's a good idea.
That's a James question.
Okay, I can ask James on that.
Are we still having meetings?
No, only like as we need them.
Yeah.
'Cause that's
It's
the
mostly
only
just
thing
that,
left.
just
Just pretty much emails. Public comment?
I have an issue with, Page being one way down by my house. Is when people leave my driveway, they go the wrong way. Cause they don't know it's one way,
Oh dear.
even though when they turn on the street.
It
Even,
says one way.
it says one way,
I know.
but even OPD comes down the street the wrong way sometimes.
I was coming home one night and someone was coming up Page and up Lake Street too.
I've seen the
We don't have an answer for that. We don't have signs that go down the street that say we have them on each end, and that's what we have. That's how it
But
works.
there's not parking lots that are required by a business to be,
I'm sorry, say,
when they pull out of a business, if it's one way, there would be a sign across the street saying to go that way. So when they pull out of the driveway and they're 90 years old, they don't remember 20 minutes ago when they pulled onto the street that it's one way.
I do it on my street all the time.
They come down our, not just our customers, so many people come down that street the wrong way.
Oh, no, I live on a one-way street, it's a nightmare.
It's crazy. But I notice our customers doing it. But I guess I can see their point.
So do you want a sign across the street?
I don't care. I'd rather do that and save somebody's life than,
I would too.
or even if it was on our,
There's parking on the other side though, so I think that
I
would
don't know if you
be,
can see the sign.
I don't know if you'd see the sign.
Mark, would you like to refer that to the traffic safety committee to look at it?
Brad to figure out like how to.
or even if they wanted to put it, because we open our gate. You know, we open that gate when we're open, or when we go somewhere. If we could put it on the inside of our gate that said one way,
I mean, you could put up whatever you want.
No, I can't.
Your own gate.
no, I can't put up any signs.
On
I'm
your
in the
property?
historic district.
Would you like to refer that to the traffic and safety
I
committee?
It's just, you know, for safety, I thought I would bring it up.
I wonder if it was on the road, like a one-way
I mean, like,
painted
painted
on
on
the
the
road. In the road, yeah, why not?
You know what?
Well,
I think
because
that idea
if you're
probably
old and you're
was
sitting
this.
there like this, not to be rude, but that's what you're gonna see anyway.
No, I
You're
don't
gonna
get
see up
anything
there.
done.
They don't,
Right.
they don't.
No, we're slow as hell as the traffic and safety committee.
I gave Nate
I
a
understand.
25-page
How
thing.
long ago? He still hasn't done it.
Well, the traffic and safety committee didn't do that. The attorney didn't
I
do
think,
that.
I think it should be on the ground.
I wouldn't even care if it was on our side, like where my garden is, I don't know if you've been.
Yes,
around
I do.
my
That
house.
part is closed.
If it was right there, so when they went to go out the driveway, they seen it was one way, even if it was on our side.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so many, even the other end, they come down the whole street.
know.
I've seen them down that way.
I've seen it too.
I yell at them, like, hey,
I don't, I just,
hey, look at the sign. They might run over people with little dogs.
That's true, they might. All right, so we will look into that.
No.
Anything else?
Great.
Memorial Day parade is coming up on Monday.
Oh, wow, that's next week.
We're gonna have, vehicles there.
Usually we're in that, I mean, we're in it, but I haven't figured out what we're driving yet, probably the Kubota.
Where's
Yeah,
Charles?
I wouldn't mind driving one, but I can't walk.
Right. Yeah, I get the Kubota, I'll be there.
I will not be there. Teddy's turning one.
Oh,
That's a grandma moment.
Anybody else wanna come?
I went up there in traffic.
Yeah, you'll be directing traffic.
This is offline stuff. I move to adjourn. This is not village board business.
Okay.
Sounds like it. It's our parade.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's the ribbon cutting for the home county girls thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
After the ceremony.
All right.
Anybody seconded that adjourning? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, he said he wants to adjourn.
Yeah, but nobody seconded it. What if I want to keep going?
Oh,
Then you
keep
don't
going then,
vote
keep
to adjourn.
going.
You don't vote to adjourn.